The following is a presentation of ESPN on ABC.
Utah's Utes are back for unfinished business. A veteran core put pro ball on hold to make one more run at a title. They have bullied and bludgeoned opponents all season. But Oregon's Justin Herbert is gunning for his signature win. Mario Cristobal's Ducks expect to match Utah's ferocious physicality with plenty of their own. The playoff or Pasadena at stake tonight in Santa Clara, California. Welcome to the Pac-12 championship game on ESPN, presented by Dr. Pepper, between the Utah Utes, ranked number 5 by the playoff committee, and the Oregon Ducks, ranked 13. Utah led by a powerful running game. Miami native Zach Moss grinding and churning away in the ground. But Justin Herbert with 94 career touchdown passes hopes for great career capper tonight. Blustery conditions, a storm in the forecast, and a lot at stake tonight at the home of the 49ers. And welcome, Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit. Championship weekend begins right now. The next 43 hours are going to be very interesting. You got 7 teams gunning for those 4 slots. Utah believes if they take care of business tonight, do what the committee likes they've been doing, it'll be their bid.
I think this is great when you get into a championship weekend and it starts on a Friday night where both teams have a lot at stake. You just mentioned Utah. They're trying to win this game, maybe get to the Rose Bowl, maybe the playoff. And, of course, the Oregon Ducks, they're out there as well having a chance to get to Pasadena if they can win.
Yeah, the top 3 unbeaten teams, they control their destiny. It's pretty simple for Ohio State, LSU, and Clemson. Georgia at number 4 can upset LSU and punch their ticket. Hoping for the Dogs to lose, Utah, Oklahoma, and Baylor. Utah ranked ahead of those 2 Big 12 teams. Will meet in Dallas. Hoping to look impressive. Baylor may need an Oregon win and a win over the Sooners to get in, but there's a lot to talk about in this final weekend.
There is, and we'll talk about it throughout the game. To simplify it, if Georgia knocks off LSU, the door shuts on Utah, on Oklahoma, and on Baylor. That kind of simplifies it. If you're a Utah fan, they need to win tonight. I think if they win tonight, they sit back and watch and hope that LSU is able to beat Georgia, and I think there's a very good shot that Utah would emerge and become that 4th team. If they lose tonight, then the door opens up for teams like Oklahoma and also Baylor.
What's fun is these teams play football completely differently. You know about the Big 12, Utah just unleashes power. Wide, strong, nasty dudes up front.
Yeah, I mean, this is a throwback. They're number 1 in the nation rushing defense. Think about that, allowing 56 yards a game. So it's tough to establish the line of scrimmage, and yet that's what Oregon wants to do. They have great depth, great size, and great quickness. So most teams that they have faced have not been able to move the ball. What you're going to love tonight is this is the Pac-12, but it's about physicality at the line of scrimmage because Oregon, they got to run. Even though Herbert gets the attention, they want to run the ball with that offensive line.
Their offense had a couple consecutive off games, but Jake Hansen comes back at center tonight, and that's big for the quarterback.
Yeah, having Jake Hansen back, he didn't play last week. Herbert loves to have him. He's like his security blanket. That way Calvin Throckmorton can move back from center back to right tackle, which is his normal position, and that really solidifies the O-line to give them their best chance. Again, balance will be big. Herbert's going to have to win some one-on-ones with his receivers, but at the end of the day, I can't wait to watch the line of scrimmage with Oregon and this Utah defense.
It's going to be tricky for both quarterbacks and the specialists tonight. The wind is swirling around in here. They say a storm is due in about an hour. These tough fan bases can take it. Oregon and Utah battle for the Pac-12 championship and a lot more coming up.
The Nissan pregame rush is next, after this message and a word from our ABC stations. ESPN, home of the New Year's Six and the college football playoff.
Rookie.
Welcome to the Nissan pregame rush. Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy.
And welcome back to Santa Clara, just about set for Oregon and Utah as college football's championship weekend gets underway out here in the Bay Area. A busy championship Saturday begins in Dallas. It's a rematch of the Classic game 3 weeks ago. Oklahoma's historic comeback win at Baylor. See if the Bears can get revenge.
Yeah, think about what Oklahoma did. They not only came back from digging themselves a hole, but they did it without CeeDee Lamb. Charlie Brewer was on fire early, and the Bears, look at them, they're up 28-3 on OU and feeling pretty good about themselves, but Jalen Hurts would not be denied. My opinion, one of the best individual performances of the year. Here's the go-ahead touchdown for the Sooners late in that game. The defense came up with a play to
keep away, ground and pound. They get CeeDee Lamb back. He didn't play in that game. In the SEC, no one has slowed down LSU's Joe Burrow, the likely Heisman Trophy winner. The Dogs defense is going to give it a shot tomorrow. Yeah,
I think Joe Burrow and Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator, have been the story of the year. They will be challenged in a big way. He's got great receivers. They can run the football. They got a great line. But here comes an angry Georgia defense determined to play well. Basically a home game there in Atlanta for the Dogs.
Big day for their defense because the offense is shorthanded and banged up. Ohio State and Wisconsin also a rematch. Chase Young was a nightmare for the Badgers in a beatdown of the Horseshoe.
Yeah, he had 4 sacks in that game, 5 tackles for a loss. I think Wisconsin is a different team. Of course, we had them last week in Minneapolis where they battled for the Axe. Look at the snow. Jack Cohn, their young quarterback, now playing with confidence. And I think more importantly, Paul Chryst, Joe Rudolph, the OC, giving him chances. If they're not aggressive with their play calling, expect more of the same of what you saw in Columbus. They cannot be conservative and have a chance of moving the ball against the Buckeye defense.
Other piece of the puzzle, Clemson, always a big favorite against the ACC Coastal Division champion, 4-touchdown favorite over Virginia in Charlotte.
And somehow, as dominant as Dabo and the Tigers continue to be, they keep showing up chippy. You know, they keep showing up with a little bit of a determined attitude, and I think that'll be the same in Charlotte tomorrow night.
They didn't make the highlight package because they're such a big favorite. Nothing personal, Dabo. We're watching Clemson. Meanwhile, the Utah Utes, they've traveled a long way, literally and figuratively, to be here. A chance for a monster win, the biggest win in Utah history. They come in a small favorite, and the Ducks are underdogs for the first time all season. A veteran group led by a trio of South Floridians. Can Utah punch its playoff ticket? Folks all over the country looking in. Pac-12 championship game coming up. This has been the Nissan pregame rush. Kickoff is next, but now we'll look inside Nissan's Heisman House.
You're watching Dr. Pepper Championship Week.
The season is a grind. But as it winds down, the brighter the goals become. Tonight, the Pac-12 championship is at stake. And for Utah, so is a place in the playoff.
We control our destiny. Get this done.
The Utes have one loss and believe they have done enough to make the cut. But right now, the Ducks. For Justin Herbert, a final chance to win the Pac-12 and secure a spot in the Rose Bowl.
Wow, an amazing throw by Herbert.
But the Utah D has dreams to achieve.
Warning you, Utah is coming.
There is more grinding to be done.
We're gonna go win this
in the Pac-12 championship.
And welcome back to Santa Clara. Utah's Kyle Winningham has been in the program for a quarter century, 15 years as a head coach, a part of all of Utah's special seasons. He's with Molly McGrath, who is filling in for Maria Taylor. Happy to have the Pac-12 native with us tonight. Molly?
Thank you, Chris. Coach, you're back at the Pac-12 championship with a chance at redemption and much more. What did you say to your team before taking the field?
Hey, we've been here before. We know exactly what we need to get done. Let's go do it.
All right, congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.
They lost 10-3 to Washington a year ago, a game that featured no offensive touchdowns. It was a pick six. The Huskies have proved to be decisive. We expect more fireworks tonight, Kirk, from both these offenses, although there's two stout defenses on the field as well.
You know, sometimes with all the playoff talk and all of the 4 teams, who's in, who's out, man, if you're a player, it's about winning a championship. It's about winning a conference championship and getting a ring. And both these teams have that chance tonight.
Ducks won the toss deferred, so the true freshman Camden Lewis has been struggling with his field goal accuracy this year, will boot it away. Damari Simpkins and Derek Vickers back deep for Utah. Here we go. Championship weekend underway. It is Vickers who makes a fair catch. And so Tyler Huntley, the senior for Utah from Miami, will come out and take the field first. Whittingham, of course, assistant coach in 04, head coach in 08. Went to Florida to get these high school teammates.
Yeah, of course, you know about this defense and what they can do, but this offense with these two seniors, you have a quarterback that's played a lot of football. He's got a new offensive coordinator that they've really seemed to gel together well. Andy Ludwig comes over from Vanderbilt. Of course, he used to be at Utah.
A new old offensive
Yeah, exactly. But he's not running Huntley as much, but he's been very, very efficient throwing the football.
And Huntley gives it to Zach Moss, a tough runner who does what he does, breaks a tackle, stiff arm. This dude is hard to get to the ground, and he rips off 8 yards behind this Utah offensive line, but does feature 3 underclassmen.
Yeah, they have a great sense of pride about them, especially the left side. Leader up front there, the center, keep an eye on him. Zach Moss is the go-to man, one of the more complete backs you'll see this year in college football. Simpkins 3 really is a unique talent on the outside, and you and I both have fallen in love with this tight end 80. Keithy, we'll be talking a lot about him.
Moss has got it again, makes a cut, slams downhill. Guy is averaging more than 6 yards a carry. He can explode for big runs, but it's the tough runs he's most known for. These guys will try to stop him.
Yeah, they have great size. You know, the freshman on the outside to the left there, Thibodeau's been outstanding. He has to provide some pass rushing tonight. Troy Dye, a 4-year starter, has led the Ducks in tackles all 4 years. 35, keep an eye on him. He's going to have to be active. The best corner for Thomas Graham is outstanding, and really, Jalon Holland, 8, will be all over the field, being asked in that hybrid position to be up and run support and also play a lot of man-to-man coverage.
Hunter looking to throw on first time, well protected, zips it across the middle, and the catch is made. Jalen Dixon, the sophomore from Texas, and they're in Oregon territory.
Get a good feel here. Watch how this opens up. Linebackers get occupied. You can see, I really felt the linebacker there was just kind of sitting there waiting, almost spying Huntley because of his athletic ability. Took himself out of coverage, and it gave him a nice throwing lane and kind of established some confidence, get his feet settled in early with a nice throw.
Incredibly accurate quarterback, 76% completions, only 2 interceptions on the season. There's a short, easy throw, and that's made by the tight end, Fotheringham, his 12th of the season.
Yeah, that's part of what he's done this year, Huntley, is a guy who's played a lot of football. 32nd start tonight with Andy Ludwig. He's 5th in the nation in passing efficiency, right? So he's completing about 75% of his passes, and a lot of it is that right there. They're going to dink and dunk, look for those shots underneath coverage where he can, especially early in the game, get his confidence established. But he is dangerous when he gets his feet involved and he breaks contain.
You're in trouble if Utah is getting 6 yards on first down. They're going to throw it to the perimeter here, and the catch is made by Vickers, who's going to muscle his way near their marker. They'll spot it a yard short at the 33.
You know, right now I think Oregon is trying to just adapt, not just to the speed in which Utah is executing, but multiple looks. That's one of the things that Andy Avalos, the defensive coordinator, mentioned to us on the call. Is he said, yeah, you can talk about Moss to back, we can talk about Huntley, the receivers, but man, one thing I'm trying to get my guys to just simplify the scheme, because they throw so much at you and you have to adjust to a lot of different formations and personnel groupings.
Third down carry for Moss. He's met at the line of scrimmage. He's able to fall forward near the marker. They're going to spot him short. Yeah. A physical tackle made right there, and that's big. Faliu, and it's going to be 4th down.
Yeah, Faliu got off his block and did a great job on 3rd and short. Remember, we talked about how physical a back he is, but watch him use his hands and work to be able to get off of that offensive lineman and then keep his eyes in the backfield and still be able to engage. And you can see the power that he has, not letting Moss push him backwards. They're going to come out and measure it just to be sure.
It's an offense, as you mentioned, they'll pound away at the midsection, but they'll stretch you horizontally, which is something that they were not able to do when Huntley was out last year. He wasn't in this championship run. He and Moss both injured for the stretch run.
And they can lull you to sleep a little bit too. You know, last year 11 yards per completion. This year they'll dink and dunk, but they will eventually hit you downfield, where he's averaging 15 yards completion this year.
This is fun, Kirk. Right away, we talked about the physical battle up front, and we got a 4th down play in the opening series.
Ducks with that goal line, short yardage defense, going to try to get low and see if they can shoot a gap. Does Ludwig run Moss? Does he sneak, or does he try to go around the edge?
They go right to the left side. Moss makes a cut. He didn't get there. Oregon's defense rises up. Folio was joined from the secondary by Pickett.
A great job by Brady Breeze right here. I just talked about goal line type of defense. He's going to work himself around the blocks. He comes in clean. Nobody picks him up, and he goes low, which is smart on the powerful Moss and keeps him short of that first down. The Ducks gain some momentum on that stop.
Utes moved it into Oregon territory, but stopped for no gain on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1. And Oregon begins from the 33. Justin Herbert, 4-year starter, grew up 2 miles from Autzen Stadium. Living the dream. And trying to get his team to a Rose Bowl tonight. Throws on 1st down, but an immediate collision there. Johnny Johnson hit by Julian Blackman, the excellent Utah safety.
How about the instincts, Aaron? Johnson down from that hit. The instincts from here. A former corner sees motion right away, does not hesitate, and is able to locate that the ball is going to be thrown out quickly. It does not give Jalen Redd a chance to pick him up on a block. That's just great instincts and awareness there, seeing that motion and reacting.
Is this sending a message on the first play as a defense? That's the most targeted receiver for Oregon this season. Johnny Johnson makes a catch, and boom. Is still down on the field after that hit.
Yeah, Blackman has had a great year. It's good to see Johnny Johnson, as you said, Chris, the go-to man for the Ducks. Great to see. He just took a big hit. I mean, he just get himself into the game, and he just got his bell rung.
Utah's played 12 games, 10. They have been like a boa constrictor, just squeezing the life out of opponents. The close loss to USC in the conference opener. Almost nobody has a chance to win a league when you lose your conference opener. They've been playing playoff-type games since late September when they lost to SC. Washington was the one other close game in Seattle.
That's a tough place to play. Think about it, 8 straight wins by an average of 29 points per game. That's impressive. I think LSU in that stretch, it was 26 points. Gives you an idea with that explosive offense.
They have gotten opponents to tap out the physicality on both sides of the ball. 2nd and 11. Herbert's going to keep it more tonight as a flag down as he slides for a short gain. Not known as a big runner in his senior season, but they may need to employ that against this defense.
Offside, defense number 6 in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty. Replay 2nd down.
Bradley and I are jumped offside. Penei Sewell, maybe the best player on the field. The sophomore rated the #1 O-lineman by Pro Football Focus. Almost impossible to beat in pass coverage. He's joined by 4 seniors.
Yeah, and I think Throckmorton, 54, has been the most consistent all year. Jake Hansen back in the lineup, which is very important for Herbert and this offensive line. So they have all the pieces back in place tonight.
And Johnny Johnson back in the game on the 2nd down as Herbert rolls and now cuts it back and shows the speed. He's not a bad runner. He just doesn't do a lot of it. He outraced Anai for a 1st down.
You can tell Marcus Arroyo and the offensive staff really has challenged him tonight to be able to come after and use his feet and his legs. We've talked about this defensive line the entire broadcast.
How about Motu?
Motu's amazing size. I mean, and physicality, 6'5", 335, but he's not heavy. And 6'9" will have the pass rushing ability to really come after Herbert tonight.
Herbert again, the keeper, giving this defense a lot to think about as he barges down to the Utah 41.
Well, he's reading Anai here, 6 on the end of the line of scrimmage, but this defense is reacting quickly to the running back. This is not what you see normally from Herbert. This is an NFL quarterback that's usually in the pocket throwing. Ducks right now breaking tendencies.
and playing fast, and they get Jalen Red involved in the flat, and he powers forward. You're talking about a guy, Kirk, that if you take the sacks out, he ran it 23 times this season.
Yeah, but early in his career, we used to rave about his athletic ability for his size at 6'6" and what he could do. But I think as their offense has grown and his skill set as a passer has grown, that's where he really is more comfortable. But I love to see what Oregon's doing. They respect what Utah can do, so they're trying to break some tendencies here and give Herbert a chance to go back to that athletic ability. Keep that defense honest. Make them respect that aspect of the Ducks' attack.
2nd and 2. The BB Leakio has a crease and a first down. He falls forward inside the 25, and this Utah defense, #1 in the country, stopping the run, is being gashed a bit here.
Yeah, Putu Tau right here, they're not even going to block him. They're going to read defensive ends. They're reading defensive tackle. I mean, think about that. We're going back to Marcus Mariota and Chip Kelly here with some of these reads here on this first drive. And again, Oregon has had this in their playbook. We've not seen it a lot. But again, go back to the respect that they have for this defensive line. Makes a lot of sense. Not only that, they're attacking with the tempo.
And a first down throw for the corner. Red tangled up, no flag in coverage.
Kidry just stride for stride there. Morgan Scalley telling us this week, the defensive coordinator, probably the most underrated player on this defense is 28. They put him out on an island often as that nickel. He has great speed. He won the 100 meters in Texas and in California. That's it. That's all you need to know about it.
He transfers pretty fast.
Think about that. 10-100. That's all you need to know. Not many people are going to walk away from him.
Handoff and turning the corner is Dye, and the younger of the Dye brothers, his big brother who told you, Troy. Nice run. They are having more success against Utah running the ball early than any team has.
And remember, we've talked so much about Utah's defensive line. Don't forget, Oregon and Mario Cristobal, the head coach, former offensive lineman, O-line coach, they pride themselves on winning the line of scrimmage. So it's going to be, again, a good against good between those two lines.
On 3rd and 2, it's a throw to the flat. Red has the edge, racing to the pylon, diving, and spotted out of bounds. It'll be 1st and goal, Oregon. Nurse was there to save a touchdown.
Yeah, Kidry's trying to stay with Red. You'll see him come left to right. See him working there, but they kind of set up a pick. Just a nice block by Johnson with the ball thrown behind the line of scrimmage. He's entitled to be able to make that block, and Red tries to get to the corner, but it looked like he did, in fact, step out of bounds. Right about the 3-yard line.
Jalen
Right
Red
there.
did not play in the game at Arizona State, Oregon's only conference loss. C.J. Verdell, now with the ball game at tailback. On 1st to go, he's got it, and he barrels in. And how about that? The underdog Ducks take it 64 yards.
Tell you something, man. That is how you set a tone. You get a stop on 3rd and 1. You get a stop on 4th and 1 against the favored team in a championship game, and you go 9 plays, 67 yards, mix up your looks, break some tendencies, and punch it in right into that strength of the Utah defense for a touchdown, sending a message to the Utes here early.
Ducks ran for 43 yards on that drive. Utah gives up 56 per game on average. Oregon, an impressive start, up 7 midway 1st quarter.
The Pac-12 Championship on ABC is presented by Dr. Pepper. Ice Cold Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville. And in part by Bright House Financial, built for what's ahead.
Twice they won the Pac-12 championship game. The first time was at Austin, and 5 years ago here, overwhelming Arizona. Of course, that's the year they went to the Rose Bowl and won that against Florida State. Went to the championship game, lost to Ohio State. Taco Bell continues to celebrate student sections. The Live My Student Section of the Year up for grabs. Utah on the watch list. Go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell and see how your school can compete. Oregon, impressive on both sides of the ball. An offensive wrinkle with Herbert carrying the football a lot in the opening drive. And tempo, keeping that powerful Utah defense off balance. Wind has blown the football off of the tee.
You're trying to figure out on the field before the game, is the wind going left to right?
Good luck with that.
Left? I mean, it was going every which way. I mean, you look at the flags up top, it's going right to left, but a lot of times down on the field, it was left to right.
You got two corners of the field that are open, so the wind kind of blows in. And again, as you mentioned, rain expected later on in this first half. Lewis's kick will not be returned, and the Ducks defense, which got that crucial stop, back on the field now.
You know, when you're an underdog in a championship game, you need moments. You need to send messages, and Oregon had a chance to do that first time Utah had the ball. Maliu right there, 3rd and 1, gets off a block, uses his hands. The Ducks on 4th and 1. They load up the left side of that Utah offensive line, and Brady Breeze, an extra man, is able to come up and make that play to get the ball early back to Herbert and the Ducks offense, where they eventually went down and put 7 up on the board. Let's see how Utah responds.
Oregon's defense often overlooked with the star power of Herbert. They held 6 opponents under 10 points this year. It's a shovel pass in the middle, and the Utes are all over it. They're going to try to find different ways to get Grant Keithy, the athletic tight end, the football.
Yeah, Keithy is a guy that you'll see on jet sweeps from the tight end position, which hits much quicker, and they'll try to get him isolated one-on-one against safeties or linebackers. I think a good matchup is when Javon Holland 8 will be on him tonight. That's good against good there. Great one-on-one matchup.
Gain of 2. It's a fake to Moss. Huntley looks to throw, has protection. Now he's going to be spun down, hit hard, goes forward. A flag is down. Bryson Young made it. A couple of flags are down. Huntley is 201 pounds, he told me, but deceptively strong. Tough to sack. He gets pressured a lot, but he escapes a lot.
Those flags came in right near the end of that
During
tackle.
the run, personal foul, targeting. Defense number 25. That play is under review.
That's Brady Breeze, the safety, who made the big play in the 4th down spot. And, of course, they'll review this as they always do.
There he is, Breeze, 25. Watch him as he's going down. He just lowers his head right into the pile and collides with Huntley as Huntley is going down.
And Huntley obviously falling backwards. Would he be considered a defenseless player at that position? No way he could see Breeze, the tackle, coming in. Dave Kataya, back at his Pac-12 country, is in the booth to assist with this review. Dave?
He's going down, and there are definitions of defenseless players, but they're not. They include everything. This guy's going down. He is defenseless number 1. Number 2, he hits him with the crown of the helmet. And there is forcible contact, in my opinion. I think this call is going to stand. He lowers his helmet, as you said, Kirk.
Yeah, the tough part there for Breeze on his behalf is as he's lowering his helmet. Again, this is happening in less than 1/10 of a second. The ball carrier, of course, is going lower and lower, and that's what I think head coach Mario Cristobal is trying to say. Hey guys, he wasn't aiming for the head. It was just that Huntley's helmet came down to where Breeze was already kind of launching. I don't think he was launching towards his helmet on one plane there.
Obviously, Cristobal disagrees with the call on the field. A tough blow to the head of Huntley, who was falling backwards. Steve Strimling, the referee, consulting with Gary McNana, the replay official. This is a brand of Pac-12 football that some of you that don't watch a lot of games from this conference, maybe you can't stay up late enough. Utah is rarely on national television. It's more physical than you might think, these two teams.
After review, there is no foul for targeting. The result of the play is 2nd down.
So the gain is short.
Again, I think it was one of those things where, and Dave, as an official looks at that, when his helmet is dropping, Breeze was not, to me, launching at the helmet. It was kind of launching low, and to me, Huntley's helmet happened to come down towards him.
I agree, but the problem is he did lower his head, and that's his responsibility. I can see them going stands on this.
It's a 3rd down and 6 play, not 2nd down, as Strimling said. They heat up the pocket. Huntley steps up, delivers downfield, and a leaping catch made. Wow! Keithy, that's a tight end who went up over Breeze with the fingertip grab.
I don't think his feet were in bounds. One official said his feet were down. He went airborne, and then
his backside landed first.
Yeah, yeah. Let's take a close. Well, what a great job by Huntley stepping up and finding his go-to receiver, the tight end.
Now the elbow is what's going to land first, and that puts him down in the paint.
Yeah. Boy, what an effort by Keithy, the tight end.
Also was a holding call declined by the Ducks.
Yeah,
and this incompletion will stand.
Yeah, the two officials, the first official came running down saying that it was in fact inbounds, and then he got overruled. I like when they come together, and one official had a better vantage point. He overruled him.
So the Ducks get another stop. And this offense will get the football back. Javon Holland, their corner, is the punt returner. Ben Lemon, the Aussie, 24-year-old freshman, boots it high, but not very long. And the fair catch is going to be made at the 39. Short punt, good field position once again for Herbert. Ducks up 7. Goodyear blimp and a breezy night in the Bay Area. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, the newest honorary member of the College Football Hall of Fame. Goodyear blimp. Goodyear more driven. Reminder that championship weekend continues. High noon Eastern time, 11 o'clock in Dallas for the rematch between the Bears and the Sooners. Fans of both programs liking what they see so far. Certainly hoping that Oregon can spring the upset and take Utah out of consideration. That would open the door for the Big 12 champion. We then have to hope that LSU takes care of business. Herbert looking to throw it. First down, it's a slant. Johnny Johnson spins for a gain of 9. They're in rhythm right now.
Yeah, a little switch release against man-to-man. Freed up Johnson to be able to get open. Kind of use the other receiver there as a shield to be able to come off the corner there. Lewis. Love how Oregon is mixing things up and just on the attack these first two drives.
Herbert looking to throw downfield for the first time. Launches. Has Jawan Johnson, who's got it. And dragged down at the 1. Finally, the deep shot. And they connect with the former Nittany Lion.
You know, it was Herbert was waiting for Johnson as he rolls right. He's just kind of looking to the backside here, looking, and he finally they kind of connected eyes, locates him for the deep play.
And reaching for the goal line, Herbert just short. They're playing quick down there, and he tried to run it.
Well, they are going tempo here again, trying to slow down this Utah defense, and Herbert once again trying to use those legs.
They whistle before the second and goal play.
Prior to the snap, the previous play where the ruling was short of the goal line is under review.
Take another look and see if Herbert was able to stretch the ball across. They ruled him down on the field. 6'6" frame, long arms. It was close. It was a stiff arm. The helmet of Burgess throws him down.
No, he's short. Yeah, short. They might even move it back a little bit. His knee was even down before that. Except right knee, both knees down right there. They may move it back a little bit.
He's known for having huge hands, which help you grip the ball in bad weather. He just put the giant palm on Burgess' helmet and just shoved him down.
I love the willingness from Herbert tonight and the attack from Oregon about how they're utilizing him and his legs tonight. Not seen that all year.
Herbert, one of the top scholar athletes in the country as well. He helped to New York for the Campbell Trophy presentation, which is known as the Academic Heisman. Tremendous honor.
After review, the ruling on the field that the runner was short is confirmed. Second down.
And how about Oregon? They get the big stop on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1 on defense to open the game.
I think that set the tone, really, Chris.
Drives 67 yards for a touchdown, and are on the doorstep of a 2-touchdown lead. Position that Utah has not been in this year. Riddell from the pistol, hit hard, fights, and will be spotted short of the goal line.
Great play by Bernard, the linebacker. Walks up, almost playing as a defensive end. Watch him work inside to try to get it through a gap. Gets off of that block.
Cyrus Habibi-Likio is their typical short yardage back. Riddell, barely 210 pounds, trying to slam it in there. 3rd and goal, and now a pre-snap flag, and this will back up the Ducks 5 yards.
Offense number 48, 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
Under Campmore, the tight end, that is a crucial flag. Oregon has often, Kirk, we've seen struggle themselves in these 3rd short situations.
Well, they've been going a lot of quick count, and this is one of the times they needed the motion. You see the H-back on the other side. Instead of that quick count that time, they were trying to get Johnson from left to right. Tight end ends up jumping.
See if that turns this into a pass call. Habibi-Likio's in the game. Herbert rolling to his right, throws it back. Big man makes the catch. Penei Sewell, we talked about his athletic skills as a left tackle. He was eligible on that play. They tried to trick the Utes, but the Utah native couldn't find the end zone.
I'd love to see the throwback to the left tackle, and Nye stays home. Watch 6 do a good job. He kind of recognizes something's up. He's twitchy and athletic enough to be able to get back and to bring the, once you force the big fella to cut back, then he's got a problem.
The 325-pounder with great agility, and they force the field goal attempt from Camden Lewis. 23-yarder. He's just 6 of 11 this season. He's able to knock the chip shot through. That's a win for Utah's defense. The Ducks were down there at the 1 before the penalty. But 10-zip, and the Ducks come out with a purpose, some wrinkles, including one that didn't work. But now Utah's going to have to fight from behind. They're led by the Hallandale trio, Tyler Huntley, Zach Moss, and Damari Simpkins. The receiver haven't been involved yet. The same high school Simpkins transferred in for his senior year. He had been a quarterback, changed to receiver, and it's an incredibly unique story in college football. 3 guys from the Southeast travel all the way across the country, all have great success, get their degrees. All of them are leaders of the very position groups.
That is quite a story, and a willingness to go from one extreme to another. I mean, you're living down in the Miami area, and you're going to go all the way out to the mountains, out into Salt Lake, and it's obviously worked out for them, and they've become great leaders on that offensive side of the ball. And right now, this Utah team is needing to rely on them to try to change this game around. 4 minutes and 17 seconds still here in the first.
Huntley, a 3-star recruit. Moss was heavily recruited, originally committed to Miami before flipping to the Utes. They're used to leaning on that big defense. Rarely do they fall behind by double digits in the first quarter. And so there'll be some urgency. By the way, those guys had never seen snow coming from Miami until the recruiting visit of Tyler Huntley, and I think he seemed to enjoy it.
That's great.
Back in January 16th, Moss came in for his recruiting visit. They went on a snowmobile trip. I'd say, living in Florida, a lot of folks down there are fascinated by snow. You know, the coaches are thinking, oh no, it's a blizzard. How are we ever going to get these guys to sign? The opposite happened.
That's great.
Huntley is 4 or 5 in the early going, but for just 31 yards. And the running game and Moss have been bottled up. A play-action first-down play. Scrambling. He's a good runner, and he's got some blocks. Makes a cut, still going. A flag came in very late in the run at midfield. He was spotted out near the 45.
I'd love to see Huntley when he gets outside, able to break, contain, dual threat quarterback. More of a passer this year, but has great speed.
During the run, holding on the defense. That 10-yard penalty is assessed from the end of the run. Results of first down.
And defensive holds, so they'll tack on 10 yards, and Utah will move the football into Oregon territory.
I think Andy Ludwig is just going to kind of stick to his guns right now, obviously early in this game. Watch Huntley's feel. He kind of felt, one thing about him this year is he's very decisive with his decision making. He knows when to pull and get out of there, has just a great pocket awareness to him this year.
The run and the penalty makes it a 28-yard gain. Moss spinning in the backfield to avoid a tackle, an athletic move, and an impressive 2-yard gain.
They're right now, the Utah offensive line getting whipped. You know, the Oregon Ducks are flying around. They want to make Huntley have to throw the ball to win. They want to bring pressure on him. They want to try to obviously contain him, but they're loading up against Moss in this running game, leaving these corners on islands, and this defensive line not fearful at all. They're just attacking upfield, trying to shoot gaps.
Two tight ends in the wing. Moss has got it again, makes a cut and another cut. He's having to earn everything. He'll be stopped 4 yards short. Kirk, they were hoping that even though they're not as imposing as Utah's defensive front, quickness, pre-snap movement would help confuse that offensive line.
Well, I think big thing is just trying to get Huntley and this offense off schedule. They typically are able to throw the ball on their terms. You know, look at them this year. They've improved so much on third down. They want to try to get them behind the sticks, try to get them to those 2nd and 8s and 3rd and 6. They got him to 3rd down here.
Moss spinning, diving. He's going to be spotted short. You got another one of those 4th and 1s, a similar position on the field.
Yeah, almost the exact same spot. They decided, you and I, we went to the break. We said a little bit surprised they didn't just use the sneak. Where now in the new rule in college football the last few years, the running back can help, assist, and push the quarterback in that quarterback sneak. They decided to hand the ball deep to Moss, and the Ducks were able to stop it.
They've got Keefe, the tight end, lined up at fullback in front of Moss on 4th down. It's a fake to Moss, and a false start will back up the Utes now in a 4th down play.
Tied in on the left side.
85 offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
So a mental mistake.
Let's see the top of your screen there. Just a little flinch right there by the tight end, and the official caught it. But I was again surprised. They went deep to hand that off, and now they're going to have to punt it.
Tight end is seldom used. And that error changing the decision, and the punt's blocked. The punt is going to be blocked and roll out of bounds at the 43-yard line. Kayvon Thibodeau, the explosive pass rusher, makes a huge play on special teams.
And Oregon's in safe punt. I mean, this is crazy. Watch him come off the edge. Nobody picks him up. The true freshman at 6'5", 242. You know, the ball's at about the 40-yard line. They're not in any rush at all, but nobody picks up the young freshman, and he surprises Utah, their specialist.
Kyle Willingham coaches the special teams. They expect to have an edge in that department in every game, but it's the Ducks with the big special teams play, and now trying to build in a 10-point lead, take over at the Utah 43. Play action fake, and Herbert was peeking downfield, now backpedals, and it's incomplete. Just dropped by Johnny Johnson. You can even see the arm strength, though, falling back on that throw.
Yeah, with the sudden change, I think Oregon was thinking about a quick strike. They were looking at 18, the tight end, Spencer Webb, to try to get down that left sideline, but Utah felt that, had double coverage, in fact, on him, and Herbert had nowhere to go. He's lucky to be able to even get rid of that ball. Almost completes it to Johnson there.
Both Johnny and Juwan Johnson, along with Red on the left side of the formation on 2nd and 10. And Herbert with the clap drew about 4 Utes offside.
Well, Sewell, the left tackle, moved as well, but I think that was on the entire Utah defensive
False start.
line.
Offense number 58.
They did get it.
5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
Everybody's set there, but watch the left tackle. Everybody moves.
It's a rare mistake. This guy, 8 different games, Sewell did not allow the guy pass rushing against him to pressure, hit, or sack the quarterback. 8 out of 12. It's ridiculous. Not even a pressure. 2nd and 15. 4-man rush. Herbert flushed, rolling and scanning the field. Delivers a bullet which bounces off the hands of Juwan Johnson, incomplete. Jalen Johnson was in coverage.
Well, Herbert again in the athletic ability. He's looking for Johnny Johnson. Johnny Johnson kind of ducks because the ball's going beyond him to Juwan. But you can see Troy Dye in the background. He actually, as his quarterback started to scramble, he snuck down the left sideline and nobody picked him up. Fortunately for Utah, Herbert not able to locate him.
Rob's been a problem for the Ducks receiving corps this year. That's the 28th. It's a high number. Sets up a 3rd and 15. They blitz Herbert. He backpedals. Desperation heaves to nowhere. He's in the tackle box, an obvious intentional grounding. Devin Lloyd, the athletic rover, came on the blitz.
Offense number 10. Lost it down at the spot of the foul. 4th down.
Well, they brought Lloyd, and they also brought Bernard. They had walked Bernard up here. They bring him this way, and Lloyd's able to come this way. And on 3rd down and long, a good call dialed up here by Morgan Scally. You can see Herbert holds on, has nowhere to go with it. And he's within the tackles and just throws it out there for intentional grounding.
Morgan Scally was a very, very good safety. That great Utah team in 2004, co-captain, Mountain West co-defensive player of the year. And at 40 years old, a Broyles Award finalist, one of the hot young assistant coaches in the country. It's a big stop for Scally's defense. Tipkins watches this punt bounce into the end zone, but you get a block punt, you're down 10-0, and you push the Ducks backward. The penalty certainly helped.
By Sewell really hurt them. I mean, Oregon has been avoiding penalties and making those mistakes.
This dude's intense. I think he wanted to play. When you saw him pregame down there in the field. The Xfinity Skycam giving us great pictures as they have most of the year. You can check out the alternative angle Xfinity Skycam coverage tonight on the ESPN app. See if that stop by the defense after the block punt will spark this Utah team. Ducks got them on their back heels here. Moss has been contained so far. 1st down carry, and the Ducks string it out. Then he cut back, breaks a tackle, still running, in the clear. Moss takes off, and he'll bolt down into Oregon territory. He is tough to get down. They had him for a loss, but he muscled his way out of trouble.
Well, he's able to just keep it alive, and his vision eventually is what is unique. This play is, look, it's bottled up. They've got him contained. Watch how he continues to fight and then locates at the last second, able to get around the safety where he picks up a block, but he cut back against Bryson Young. And again, he's known as a power back, but he's very nimble. Good effort there by Huntley. Yeah, nice block there on the safety. And that was impressive. He's got great quickness and suddenness about him for his size.
42-yard run is the longest the Ducks have allowed, and now Huntley taking a shot down the seam for the end zone. It's intercepted by Breeze. The junior safety is having a monster night so far. Just the 3rd pick Huntley has thrown all season, and by far the most costly.
I think he predetermined what he wanted to do with this ball. He had 2 posts going to the middle of the field. Breeze is here. He'll work to the middle, and you're going to see 2 posts. He's got to make his mind up on what he wants to do with this football. I think right away, see this guy working to the inside. Instead, he goes the deeper route downfield, and Breeze almost could have called a fair catch on that. He was just sitting there in center field, but I think Huntley predetermined where he wanted to go with that ball, and all Breeze had to do was read the eyes of the quarterback and come up with a big interception.
The kind of mistake that Huntley has not made this season. And Breeze, the big stop on the 4th down.
He's playing tonight.
And the pick. 2-back look. And now a flag. And Herbert is hit after the play. That's big Leaky Fotu. You do not want to get hit by him. He said, well,
he touched him. He touched him. That's a little acting by Herbert.
Acting sometimes works.
False start. Offense number 54. The contact against the quarterback was not a foul.
No.
It remains 1st down.
Yeah, they call Doc Throck, Calvin Throckmorton.
Watch.
Played about 50 games.
Watch, and I agree. Usually you get hit by 99, you're going to fly into the 3rd row, but here he pulls back. Fotu, watch, he just kind of comes up, touches him, and then that's ridiculous. Good.
Herbert weighs
no
about
call.
240.
Yeah, right.
That easy to knock down.
Exactly.
Fotu says, if I meant to hit you, you'd know it.
Yeah. You'd be in the end zone.
So these penalties for the Oregon offense backing him up, making things tough on the slant, and it's dropped again. Jawan Johnson's had a couple go out of his hands. Jalen Johnson delivered the hit there.
Utah bringing those linebackers makes it an easy throw for Herbert. I'm going to tell you, we had Oregon 2 weeks ago. This is the Justin Herbert you'd like to see. He's throwing tight spirals. He's getting the ball out of his hands quickly. Seems to really have a good feel with the plan tonight on how they want to come after this Utah defense. And the most important thing is he's decisive. When he's back there and the ball's coming out, he's throwing the ball with accuracy. We didn't see that until late in that game in Tempe.
Yeah, back-to-back picks against the Sun Devils, responded with 3 touchdown drives late. Then they had a season low in passing yards against the Beavers in the Civil War, and he was pressured a lot. It was an uncomfortable game for the Ducks offense. They only scored 17 offensive points.
Yeah.
Final 31 seconds of this first quarter. It's been all Oregon. The block punt, the interception, strong defensive stand. The Target Command Center also streaming live on ESPN3 and the ESPN app. If you check out those stats, a little bit deceptive. The big 42-yard run by Moss in that last series. Oregon has been very efficient. But a long way to go. We've seen Oregon have bits of play where they look great, then they have long droughts. Auburn and Arizona State able to work their way back in games against Oregon. Empty backfield on 2nd and 15. Herbert gets it out quickly, but Johnny Johnson's hammer behind the line and dropped at the 10. There's Big Fotu imposing himself.
Absolutely, but it really starts with Bernard, who is a big prep guy, really locks in. You can see his body tilted, knows that something's up, knows in an empty set the ball's coming out quickly, almost anticipates that throw to Johnson, and because of his leverage to the outside, it forces Johnson back to the inside, which is the last place he wants to go with 99 in there waiting on it.
Can we get a different out, Coach?
I'm good.
I want no part of 99. But it's the Ducks with an impressive opening quarter, and the 5th-ranked team in the country down 10 in Santa Clara. Back after this message and a word from your local ABC station. Ducks in front as we begin the second quarter. Pac-12 championship game on ESPN, presented by Dr. Pepper. Part of Dr. Pepper Championship Week. The 3rd and 18. Ducks backed up at their 12-yard line. Verdell, a long way to go to get the first down. Cuts it, fights, and he'll be stopped just a couple of yards short. They tried to run it on 3rd and very long, and Julian Blackman eventually with the tackle.
Pretty good effort here. They got to the edge, and you can see what Verdell can do. Blockers block, the receivers blocking downfield. He's not afraid to lower his shoulder. You know, you look at him, you think he's undersized. I think he has low center of gravity at 5'9", about 210 pounds. Tough guy to bring down. And you're right, 3rd and forever. He comes up a couple yards short.
Blake Maimon doesn't punt very often. It's his 50th this year. First tonight, gets it up in the jet stream. It's a beautiful kick, and Simpkins drifts back, and he stepped out of bounds after catching the football. So Utah will begin from about the 23-yard line. Well, of course, it all comes down to Sunday over on ESPN, the exclusive reveal of the CFP matchups. The Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl and the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl, or the 2 semifinals will be played on December 28th. Asked of many to weigh in on that. Begins noon Eastern time. 49-yard punt. You know, a lot of these Duck fans were they were seriously deflated by the loss in Tempe. Took them out of consideration for the playoff. You have to remind them, you know, you win this game, you still get to go to the Rose Bowl. That's a pretty good consolation prize.
Yeah, it is.
And Moss cannot run out of that tackle. Sure-handed Breeze, who's come up huge tonight. Not the first guy you'd think of when you look at this defense.
He's bouncing around, you know, rotates quite a bit with Nick Pickett. Both of them pretty active at safety. I think Utah has to be pretty pleased right now with the way this first half has gone. If you just tuned in, Utes defense stepping up the last couple possessions after a blocked punt, after an interception. Fortunate that Utah only down 10-0, keeping Huntley and company in this game.
Moss again on 2nd down. It's a spin, but heavy traffic gains nothing.
And this Oregon team, again, it's very simple. They are putting 9 guys. The safeties are running downhill. They are overloading that line of scrimmage. They don't feel threatened by the offensive line. They don't feel threatened by the receivers going downfield. And I think what you're going to see Andy Ludwig, the OC, have to do is move Huntley around. They're going to have some success throwing the ball to get Oregon out of this approach where they don't fear the downfield vertical passing game.
Needs 7 on third. Ducks putting some pressure. Huntley flushed, trying to escape. Now he'll try to run for it, and he will not get there. Run down by Kayvon Thibodeau, the freaky freshman.
They bring pressure, bring the linebacker, Slade Mata Utia on the outside far right. And that flushes Huntley to get out. And then look at the speed. Look at those jerseys running around. And eventually the freshman, who had the blocked punt earlier, shows you what he can do. He's known for getting around the corner. But look at his speed. 6'5", 242. One of the reasons he was one of the highest ranked high school players a year ago is because of that skill set that he has.
Coming every down defensive end. Another low kick. Ben Lennon just boots it across the ground. It's going to be effective, and it's fielded just at the last second. Somewhat risky play by Javon Holland. Works out okay. And Oregon back to work from the 30 here. Still up by 10. Anthony Davis and the Lakers are up in Portland. A lot of Ducks fans got to be Trailblazers fans. Game over on ESPN at 10:30 Eastern Time. NBA Friday presented by State Farm. 3 and outs in the last 2 possessions. The forecasters were all wrong here. They said rain would arrive at 6:10 Pacific. It arrived at 6:12.
Way off.
Try to do better. But that'll complicate things for the offenses. Not heavy rain yet, but being blown around by the wind. Herbert a slant on first down. A very short gain by Brian Addison. Tackled right there.
Well,
for a 5-yard gain.
Small thing, but well coached here. Kind of an in and out call. Watch how the defensive backs come off of this and bounce off. And instead of the defensive back staying with the receiver, potentially being picked, like an in-out call there. So whoever moves in on the inside, that defensive back will rotate to him. And
again, Herbert clapping, and 4 Utes
smart
jumped off sides.
Smart. I mean, in the old days, it was hut, 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 hut. In the NFL,
Defense
you get that. Nowadays,
number
it's
99.
a clap.
He was in the offensive backfield. That causes the ball to become dead. 5-yard penalty.
You got this dominant defensive line. You got to mix those things up to try to help your offensive line.
Julian Blackman is a huge part of this defense. And free safety. Mentioned his skills at a corner. Molly McGrath on the field.
Well, Chris, after Oregon's first running touchdown, Utah's defensive players were yelling at each other to get their heads back in the game, and the sideline was very spirited. But after Oregon's last possession, Utah's defensive players sat quietly, and no one spoke to each other. Their heads were down. They looked frustrated and very tired, Chris.
Interesting. Well, they were confused clearly by, you pointed out, the wrinkles. Yeah. Herbert carrying the ball a lot in that opening possession. That was key in their touchdown drive.
Well, watch Blackman here. Just kind of, it's a penalty. He just kind of backpedaling, goes down. I don't know if he had anything that was bothering him coming into the game, but grabs a hold of his left leg and now being helped off. I agree with Molly is saying there. The attack from Oregon, different approach. Herbert running, the up tempo. I mean, they had Utah on their heels and a little bit surprised and definitely looking to the sidelines for adjustments.
Blackman, who blitzes well, excellent coverage. Oh, he's replaced by R.J. Hubert in that safety position. Herbert has time, pump fakes, finds Red, and the slot receiver is spun down in Utah territory. First down, Burgess on the tackle. They're going to play with some tempo here.
He sets this up to make them think the screen to the right. The offensive linemen don't get downfield, so he drew the defense to the screen and then throws back to the middle. Well-designed play there, and a good job by the lineman not getting downfield.
Pump fake. Lofts the ball downfield. Johnny Johnson's wide open. And the Ducks are stretching the lead. There is a flag on the field to hold everything. A flag on the field about 7 yards beyond the line of scrimmage.
Holding. Defense number 1. That penalty is declined. Result of the play. Touchdown.
Justin Herbert strikes and it's 16-0 with a PAT to come.
Remember, Julian Blackman goes out of the lineup. The leader, the quarterback, making sure everybody's in position. Everybody's got everybody aligned. Everybody's accounted for. Boy, you knew Herbert wanted. He gave a little shoulder, came back to the left, looked off the safety, and then eventually made the throw where Johnson had gotten behind coverage. But I promise you, with Blackman out, confusion in that secondary without his guidance back there.
32nd touchdown pass of the year for Herbert. A low extra point, and Utah with a playoff bid on the line faces its largest deficit of the season, 17.
The Pac-12 Championship on ABC is presented by Dr. Pepper. Ice Cold Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville. In part by Pacific Life, 150 years strong, protection and retirement solutions for your future. And the all-new Ford Explorer, built Ford proud.
The 45-yard strike to Johnny Johnson has been on fire in recent games. And Kyle Whittingham, who really felt that his team would feel no pressure with everything to play for, would have learned from last year's experience, the loss here to Washington in the championship game. They have been outplayed and out-schemed so far. Marcus Arroyo, the offensive coordinator for the Ducks, going against Morgan Scalley as one of the most highly regarded D coordinators in the game, has drawn up some beautiful stuff, and it's been well executed by Justin Herbert so far. And Utah in an unfamiliar position, to say the least. Lewis boots it to Vickers, who will try to make the return here from the 4. And he's got a crease. And the kicker slowed him down. Vickers is spun down out across the 40. And check the touchdown again.
And we're going to take a peek at, remember, the safety who is in for Blackman. Watch it, he goes right, he goes back left, he's going to go to the right. It was almost as if Herbert just moved him exactly where he wanted to go. Now watch him off this ball fake. Watch his eyes to the right. Now he goes back to the left, but his eyes start to creep. He knew exactly what he had. And he, tonight, is taking advantage of an aggressive attack from Marcus Arroyo against his talented Utah defense.
Challenge now, Kurt, for Tyler Huntley, who's a very tough-minded customer. Not easy to rattle. And he delivers a strike that's down the field. Sliding catch by Keithy inside the Oregon 40.
Yeah, when in doubt, again, we keep saying Utah's going to have to make some throws to back off the Oregon defense that's loaded up against Zach Moss in this running game. And when they throw, they're pinning their ears and getting upfield, and he's got to get the ball out quickly, and he's got to make them pay for that. And who does he go to? But his go-to man, 80, Keithy.
Delay to Moss, and he's slammed down. Andy Ludwig loves to show patience with the running game. They feel if they can throw these body shots in the first half, even if they're short gains, it'll pay off late. But Kirk, they're not used to be down 17-0.
Exactly, and especially after a big pass, you come back, you're going to try to run a ball. Nick Pickett's cheating down. I think Andy Ludwig has got to adjust the scheme, but stay within the confines of all the prep, all the work that they did. But they're going to have to, as I said, come up with some wrinkles of their own to try to find some matchups that they can win in this passing game.
Play action, Huntley looking downfield and zips it short, in and out of the hands. That's Devon Villay. They're using some tight ends tonight that don't get a ton of action.
No, but this is a ball that needs to be thrown further towards the sideline. Look at the route right here. He's won this play. Throw the ball to the outside where only the receiver can make a play on it. He actually did the defensive back Breeze a favor because of throwing it back to the inside and let him catch up and get his left arm in there.
3rd and 8. Utah has struggled mightily, 0 for 4 on 3rd down tonight. Maybe 4-down territory, down 17. Huntley flushed, and he'll dart upfield. He'll fall down short of the marker, and it's going to be 4th and 2.
I mean, Oregon didn't blitz there on 3rd down. They just rushed 4. They had a little twist up front. But the right tackle right now struggling against Thibodeau because of how quick he is. He's giving him outside looks. That time he came underneath. He gave him a little shake to the outside and came back to the inside and caught him completely off guard.
Wall is a redshirt freshman. They struggled on short yardage here. And on 4th down, It's a crucial play. And fake it to Moss. Huntley looking to throw, has nobody open, and he will fight, but he'll be stopped. Jordan Scott, the nose tackle, get out there. Second time tonight, the Ducks have made a fourth down stop.
Oregon dialed in here. Receivers flanking out to the right. Ducks have them covered. Huntley thinks he can use his athletic ability, but the coverage downfield is good enough, and by the time there's some receivers that open free, Huntley's just trying to get to the sticks. He's just trying to get a first down, but the Ducks defense again steps up on fourth down. That's
Back here in Santa Clara, where Julian Blackman is on crutches with ice on his left knee, and I'm told that Blackman had a pre-existing knee injury, and he slipped on the sod in the middle of the field. He tripped over it, and he was in serious pain in the medical tent. He was punching the table in pain, Chris.
Wow. Ducks take over. Verdell cuts it back. He's a senior. If that is the way that his Utah career ends, and we hope it is, and that's a tough one, a complete fluke, non-contact injury in the part of the field which they did re-sign with the logo, but it didn't appear to be a footing issue.
No, and imagine, senior, worked so hard, moved from corner to safety. See how emotional he is about being out of this game right now, especially with his team down.
Verdell up the middle, and again, in an unfamiliar position. This Utah team looks completely dazed. They've been overpowering opponents all year.
Even from up here, when you look at the sideline, look at the faces right now. They're going to try to keep battling, but from up here, they look not just shell-shocked. They look like they need some answers. Like they don't feel like they have answers right now.
It's tough without Blackman. We saw R.J. Hubert trying to fill in, but he is nowhere near the safety that the senior is. They get near the quarterback, and Herbert, pressured by Tafua, fires it into the ground.
Tafua finally gets home. He's opposite of Anai, who gets most of the attention. That time he just is able to get around the right tackle, Throckmorton, with some good speed of his own. Utah, when you get down in a game like this, you need a spark. You need just a little thing to get you going. A turnover, a sack, a fumble, something to get your team to believe. And you would think if anybody would do it, it would be this defense that's led them all year.
Ducks need 6 to keep the drive going. Herbert fires across the middle, catch made, but short of the marker is Cantmore. It'll be fourth down, less than a yard. Let's see if Cristobal's in a gambling mood up 17.
He's been aggressive all night. It'd be surprising if he punted it, to be honest with you. Up 17, he's trying to keep his foot on the gas right now, and it would be out of character for the way they've coached. They've coached very aggressively. They have coached to win tonight, and right now there's no sign at all of them punting this ball.
Big story of this game has been 3rd and short and 4th and short, and the Ducks have had the big edge. Verdell is the back, and Verdell has it, and he's got a first down, diving down near the 42 before Hubert can stop him.
Really good block by Jawan Johnson. He takes on the linebacker Lloyd, and he gets physical. Here's Lloyd right here, split zone, and watch him take him. And it's actually where Verdell ends up cutting back underneath. See that contact? That's a receiver coming in motion, taking care of a linebacker. Receiver Johnson, a Penn State transfer, 6'4", 230, did not hesitate to lower his shoulder. You got to love that.
Fake it to Habibi Likio. Herbert looking down the seam for Johnny Johnson, who's got it inside the 10.
But what an adjustment back to the football, Chris, by Johnny Johnson. He's covered. Nurse never sees it. The corner in coverage never sees the ball. We saw Johnny Johnson 2 weeks ago in Tempe when the Ducks looked like they were down and out. He helped, along with Herbert, bring them back to give them a chance. An outstanding receiver, undersized, but that time climbs the ladder and adjusts back to the ball. That was beautiful.
Got 10 catches back in his hometown in Tempe. Wasn't enough, but tonight continues his hot streak. 1st and goal for Oregon, trying to really put the number 5 team in a deep hole.
False start. Offense number 68. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Well, they're going tempo, so we can't always show you replays, but we get a break here to be able to show it to you again. This is a thing of beauty, and you love to see a receiver that never gives up on a ball. Watch him locate, comes back. That ball almost looks like it goes off of the back of Nurse, and he uses that as almost a backboard to help make the catch. Adjustment back. Nurse never sees the ball, but Johnson, to his credit, did.
And again, Blackman, who's at center field position, not in there. Huber trying to fill in. Couldn't get there in time. Ducks got to hurry here. The play clock's down at 3, coming off of penalty. And now they'll have to spend a timeout to avoid another one. Oregon, as you said, trying to keep their foot on the gas and build this lead for the break. I promise you the Utes are more stunned than you guys are. And Oregon with a 2-back look here, trying to build this lead even more. Dye and Verdell flanking Herbert, who rolls to his left and looks in the flat. Now he's going to pump fake, come back, fires for the end zone, flag down. Johnson was closely defended by Josh Nurse, and the flag thrown near the goal line.
All the momentum is going to the offense's left, and then he comes back, and I think Nurse was surprised that he worked back to Johnny Johnson, grabs a hold of him.
Holding. Defense number 14.
See, he's right here, he gets shot. Right there, he's like, oh boy, grabbing onto everything he can find.
And include an automatic first down.
Officials all over that.
Ducks have already gained more yards against Utah than the Utes have allowed on average in an entire game. Talk about a team that gives up 11.2 per game. Ducks trying to get to 24 before half. Habibi Likio is the back in the pistol formation. Johnson comes in motion. Habibi Likio is hit immediately and stopped for no gain by Anai.
I mean, we're still in this first half, but you talk about Kyle Whittingham and Morgan Scalley and this defense. Oregon's thinking about let's get up by 24. Let's send that message. Let's go almost for a knockout punch, right? And Oregon is thinking, let's keep it within 3 possessions here. Let's try to force into this field goal.
Second and goal. It's Red who comes in motion. Herbert looked that way. Now flips it across the middle. Diving attempt. The ball was short hops. Hubert was in coverage, but the pressure was the story.
Yeah, a little bit surprised there. Great coverage downfield. That's the reason they got pressure. Tafua is able to get in there, 42. This play right at the beginning, just kind of faking the red, but everything's covered downfield. And I was surprised that Herbert ended up throwing that over the middle of the field late like that.
Kick play, Kirk, because you talked about it. A touchdown makes it beyond a 3-score game. Third and goal from the 7. Yeah, they flagged before the snap. Right, or miscue.
Right to the snap, false start, 54 offense. 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
They've had 3 red zone penalties tonight.
You don't expect that from this offensive line.
Yeah. I mean, everything has looked pretty good for Oregon here this first half, but just miscues on that offensive line, some procedure calls that have set them back.
7 penalties in the first half. Makes it a more interesting third and goal call back from the 12 now.
You know, do you try to find that matchup where you have length advantage with Juwan Johnson at 6'4". They brought in Addison, who's at the bottom at 6'5".
Juwan Johnson's to the left. Herbert looking across the middle and almost intercepted. Boy, it bounced right off the chest of Terrell Burgess, the safety.
Well, Burgess gets underneath it. Watch him work to get underneath this right here as the route comes underneath. See how they got it bracketed. And Burgess does a good job of not just staying in position and having great leverage, but turning his head. The only thing he didn't do is obviously catch the ball, but in great position there.
Had a chance to make a play that kept this game closer as it is. Lewis, he made it earlier from 23. Attempts this from 30. And it's spinning, but it sidewinds through the uprights.
It's not pretty.
No,
but it's 3 points.
Oregon 10 play, methodical 57-yard drive to add to the lead.
Boy, every time Oregon kicks, it's an adventure. You just kind of sidewinder into the wind.
Lewis says, wait a minute, man. I'm an embattled kicker. I'm 2 for 2 tonight. Lay off me.
Right. All right, let's see what Huntley can do here with 4:56 to go. So far, 5 of 8, 51 yards in their passing game. I'm telling you, it's not about the offensive line and the running game in Moss. Oregon doesn't respect Utah's passing game. And until they make them respect that, they're going to have a hard time having consistency.
Moss would have the 142-yard run, but has just 27 yards on his other 10 carries.
They're loaded up to stop him. And that was just a terrific run. I mean, they had him bottled up for maybe a yard or two, and he cut that backside to get those 42 yards. He created that.
He's surprised the passing game hasn't gotten on track. Huntley's a guy that he's thrown for almost 2,800 yards this year. He's very capable. He can spin the ball.
But he needs help. You got to win matchups on the outside.
Oregon will get the football to begin the second half, so some serious urgency for Huntley in the offense. The Dr. Pepper tuition giveaway. Someone's going to win $100 grand in tuition from Dr. Pepper on this field at halftime.
You imagine people that have not seen Utah play much watching this game because of playoff implications. We're seeing Utah down 20-0.
Both teams script the first 15 plays. You saw Huntley check that wristband as he came out. What can he count on here?
Again, he's got to be able to work this passing game. They got to try to create some one-on-one matchups. Try maybe some crossers. Try some rubs against man-to-man.
First down run from Moss, who barrels forward. Damari Simpkins, his high school teammate, one of the top receivers in this team, has been shut out tonight. And the miscues have certainly piled up. That's tough to call it a miscue. They didn't block the safety. That's a 4th and 1 stop.
And that was early on their first drive here. And Oregon's just kind of been punt safe. And they get a block punt by Thibodeau, the freshman defensive end. I thought here Huntley predetermined where to go with the ball, and Breeze read his eyes and made an interception.
And 2nd and 1, see if they take a shot. No, they're going to hand it off to Moss. He's going to work his way for a first down to the 43.
Great patience.
Plenty of time here, 3 timeouts.
I think you and I both thought Huntley still had the ball because of the way Moss looked like he was just kind of carrying out a fake but he had the football. He just patiently waited for that offensive line to try to secure their blocks and didn't need a lot, was able to get the first down.
Talking about a guy that got 75% of his yards after contact. He's used to breaking tackles. He's used to having guys come up and hit him early. They fake it to him. Huntley delivers a strike on the near sidelines, and finally they get Damari Simpkins, the other part of that Hallandale trio, involved.
Yeah, the other thing is they're a lot of times having max protection. So you've got 2 receivers, and one of them has to win, and this time Simpkins does. He's able to get off of Lenore and well timed up between Huntley and Simpkins for the Capital One view there for the first down.
Simpkins with blazing speed, but nothing downfield so far from the Utes passing game. They bring a blitz. It's picked up. Huntley delivers across the middle, and the catch is made by Nakua. Samson Nakua, rangy junior, has a first down inside the 40.
Yeah, you just said, what can they do? And that's exactly what they can do, is work over to the middle. Try to find some rubs. This time he just breaks free. Nobody picks him up. And back-to-back plays, Utah picking up a couple first downs in positive territory now, moving inside the 40.
Britton Covey, their slot receiver, continues to be out. Nakua has got to step up. And Moss tracked down early, broke a tackle. Drayton Carlberg got there quickly, but the posse arrived to clean it up. It's a loss of 5.
Rolling the dice here by Andy Avalos. They will slant and angle, and watched him slant towards the field. Very tough block for the offensive line. Mala that time, the right tackle, no chance at all.
A tough half, hasn't he?
The feisty Carlberg, yeah.
Bucks fans on their feet, making noise on 2nd and 15. Blitz again. The ball comes out loose. Diving play. That's an awesome catch by Jalen Dixon. It was a big hit on the quarterback. Huntley getting up slowly, and it affected the throw. Yeah, Dixon, after he made the catches, also down on the field.
Troy Dye hit him hard. I'm surprised he was able to get this ball off. And watch Troy Dye here. Right there, he gets just enough on it. Boy, that ball definitely looked like it hit the ground.
Oh, for sure. It came up on the carom by Dixon, though, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Turn that around. Hard to see with the naked eye, but boy, did he get leveled by Dye. The senior has been the leading tackler on this defense for years.
Yeah, they've been blitzing him a lot this year, and he hit him. It looked like just the top part of the chest, avoiding that head-to-head collision.
Dye's been playing with that club on his right hand, injured in recent weeks. Wanted to come back one more year to play with his younger brother. Dixon a little woozy as he walks off. It's the Ducks laying the lumber. Very, very clearly the ball is going to come down, bounce off the ground, and come up.
Yeah. Right now on the field, they've called it a completion. Ball right now is marked at the 27, so they're going to have to bring this back.
Surprised they haven't already done so. Harry McNana is the replay official. Doesn't get much more obvious than that. Man, another look at the hit here.
Dye's able to sneak through. They bring one more than they can handle.
Just turning the head to avoid the targeting call, but Huntley feeling the full brunt of that. Mentioned how often he does get pressured this year. Rarely do defenses get home on him. He's pretty elusive. He's stronger than he looks. He's able to avoid sacks a lot. But Oregon has been teeing off and whipping this offensive line.
Yeah, well, and they're blitzing them. They're not afraid of these receivers at all. I mean, it's not just Huntley. It's they don't fear any of these receivers.
Finally, the crowd is clued into what's going on. Duck fans are booing. We're going to take a look to see if, in fact, this was targeting on Dye. I'm told they're also reviewing that. Didn't look to be. Assuming that they don't call targeting and they take the catch off the board, it's going to be a 3rd down and 15 back at the Ducks 43-yard line.
That's right at the gray area where Dave Kataya can hop in here and help us. You know, that initial contact, Dave, what do you think? We've seen it 2 or 3 different shots of it.
Remember, under the new rule this year, it has to be confirmed 100% sure it's targeting. There's a bit of helmet contact, but I don't think they can go to that standard of confirming it. It's close.
Creates a 3rd and long. In Utah, you'd think a couple plays, Kirk, to try to get something on the board before the break, because the Ducks again will have the football to begin the 3rd quarter.
If there is not a targeting call, this will come back to about the 43-yard line and be 3rd and 14.
Boy, you talk to the players on both sides. Really didn't see an emphatic Oregon performance over Utah like this coming.
After review, the ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. It will be 3rd and 15 at the 43-yard line. The clock will start on the snap.
Well, the ruling on the field didn't change. The review changes the verdict to incomplete pass. So they will face that 3rd and 15.
Troy Dye was listening for the potential second announcement from the official. He was like, okay, we got the incompletion. Is there a targeting call? No, we're clean. All right.
What can Utah do to create a spark here? And will Avalos bring the heat again, or will they drop back and play coverage again?
They've been able to get pressure with 4. I'd probably see them just sit back. Thibodeau at the bottom has been able to get in there.
Empty backfield. Huntley delivers an errant throw, trying to get Curtis Enos's son, on the crossing route. It's 4th down.
Yeah, I think Oregon's done such a good job with their defensive package. Even when they don't bring pressure, Huntley's uncomfortable. He's back there and his feet are moving. He's anticipating, waiting. He just looks very, very uncomfortable, not in rhythm, and just getting rid of the football.
So Whittingham sends out Ben Lennon, who's pretty good at knocking punts dead inside the 10. He'll try to pin Oregon deep, use his timeouts, and have one more chance to score before halftime. High with backspin, and a fair catch made by Holland at the 10-yard line. There's the Pac-12 Team Green, one of the initiatives taking place that promotes the greening efforts of all of the Pac-12 schools, working with high school volunteers who are roaming around the stadium, helping to ensure proper composting and recycling of disposables. Mr. Herbstreit, so see that you do your part.
Yes, sir.
Proper composting.
Absolutely.
Oregon, so impressive. 247 total yards against this defense that was allowing less than that in the game.
Remember, they have been aggressive this entire first half with their play calling.
Verdell knocked down, physical tackle by Francis Bernard, senior linebacker.
I love the look of 13. Really instinctive, second on this team in tackles, a BYU transfer. His pre-snap awareness, just a feel, because of all that prep work that he does. He's able to make plays, see things a little quicker than most linebackers.
We have 5 defensive players invited to the Senior Bowl. That's a big number if you include Moss. 6, the most for any team actually in a long time. So NFL scouts very well acquainted with the talent on this Utah defense, and they have to be looking in with some surprise as well. This unit has looked off balance and out of sorts tonight. Verdell has a crease and a quick burst and a first down to the 25 as they continue to run it right at Utah.
Yeah, Fotu went out and they ran it right where he normally would be. They have great depth. They're actually bringing him back now out onto the field. They have good depth up there. They do rotate quite a few guys, but nice job by that Oregon offensive line. Oregon not in a hurry at all at this point, getting the ball to start the second half.
Bibilikio, no, they fake it to him. Herbert fooled me, and he takes a 2-yard loss to 9, and Penasini got him. And as you said, they'll just bleed the clock down, and Winningham not spending his timeouts. That first down changed everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he was waiting to see what they did on that second down run by Verdell. If they would have stopped him, they would have used it to try to have a chance maybe at least at a field goal. And now it's about a game of adjustments for Kyle Whittingham and his staff to see what they can do to try to get back in this game.
Folks in Eugene excited. Folks in Waco, Texas, and Norman, Oklahoma also excited. So far getting the result that they needed to clear the path for the Big 12 champion to join the playoff if LSU is able to hold serve and beat Georgia. This is Habibi Likio knocked down. So with the entire country watching the first piece of the puzzle on this championship weekend, the Ducks, who are underdogs for the first time this season, will take a 20-point lead to the locker room against the number 5 team in the playoff committee rankings. Justin Herbert, efficient, more than efficient. He was superb in the first half. A lot of work to do for Tyler Huntley and the Utes. And let's hear from Kyler Whittingham with Molly.
Thank you, Chris. Coach, what do you need to do to change the momentum in this game?
We got to start making plays. We didn't get much done in that first half. Threw a pick, had a punt block, got stuffed on 4th down. Didn't get much generation of offense. So we got a lot to work on, but we'll come back strong second half.
What's the message to your team in the locker room?
Just keep fighting, play through the adversity.
Thank you. Chris.
Oregon jumping on Utah with 263 yards in the first half. Utah to keep playoff hopes alive. A lot of work to do. They lose tonight. It could be Alamo Bowl bound.
It's V Week on ESPN as we continue Jim Valvano's fight against cancer.
Welcome back to Dr. Pepper Championship Week.
Pretty stunning first 30 minutes. The Dr. Pepper Pac-12 Championship game presented by Dr. Pepper in this presentation of the Pac-12 on ESPN. Part of Dr. Pepper Championship Week. Utah came in the favorite and ranked number 5, thinking playoff. Justin Herbert a chance at a signature win that would put Oregon in the Rose Bowl. Chris Fowler back with Kirk Herbstreit. Ducks set the tone at the line of scrimmage early in this game. Utah's offense in the 7 possessions did move into Ducks territory 5 times, could not convert a single 3rd or 4th down in the first half.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think early in this game, Oregon set the tone with a 4th down stop. The first time Utah had the ball, they get the ball, and they just attacked that Utah defense. All they've heard about all week is how do you move the ball against Utah? Are you going to score any points against Utah? And I think they've shown up with a major chip on their shoulder. It lasted the entire first half. Now we'll see if Utah can do anything to get back into this game.
Unfinished business was the motto. They lost here 10-3 to the Huskies a year ago. And that's it. No points here. So 6 quarters of Pac-12 championship game play. A total of 3 points for Utah.
Yeah, and if you're looking at adjustments for Utah, it's somebody's going to have to win one-on-one on the perimeter. And then you're going to have to ask Huntley to have time to throw or have to buy time by using his feet.
Mikhail Wright, who's got a pair of kickoff returns for touchdowns this year. First chance tonight, takes it at the goal line. Flags are flying all over the place. And Wright, who is a speedster, a brilliant future star at corner, and an impact returner, gets it to midfield, but this one's going to come back. Kyle Whittingham, he's not the kind of guy to shy away. I wondered, are you going to kick to this dude? He's taken a couple of house calls this year, but that's not his style to shy away. Just kicks it right at him.
Yep.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Personal foul, blindside block. Receiving team number 25, that penalty is declined. During the run, on the return holding, receivers number 80, 10 yards from the spot of the foul, be first down.
Our Pacific Life game summary. It's been mistakes for Utah. You heard Kyle Whittingham tell Molly at halftime, pretty much nothing went right. Here's the 3rd pick Huntley's thrown all season long, a poor choice.
Another 4th and short that Oregon takes it away. Huntley trying to keep it alive with his feet, but the Ducks defense stepped up in these critical downs. And then Herbert made just enough plays downfield. He has caught Utah napping, and when he has, he's been able to manipulate the coverage and then find open receivers.
5 catches for Johnny Johnson in the first half. He was spun down. Molly?
Well, Mario Cristobal's message to his team at the half was cut it loose and empty the tank, insinuating that they're better when they're going all out and playing carefree. And he said when we get the ball to start the second half, we need to find more balance offensively. He said our running backs need to run hard and our quarterback needs to take over this game. Chris.
Did a pretty good job in the first half. I know Mario's a tough grader, but
yeah,
it's hard to complain about anything Oregon has really done so far.
I don't think you're going to see them pull back at all. I think they're going to continue with that same game plan that Molly just talked about.
Guy cuts it back, knocked down after a 2-yard gain.
I think if you're Kyle Whittingham, you get in there and you talk about, hey guys, listen, you know, we got to get it 3 and out. We got to get the ball back. Let's step up. Remember, one of their leaders is not in the game, Julian Blackman. R.J. Hubert is in for him, 10 now for Morgan Scalley in this defense. It's a big loss, but they'll have to adjust.
And other impact players like Le'Keith Fotu, the big man in the middle, Bradley and I had not been able to make the impact plays they expected. Goodell motions out on 3rd and 5. Jalen Red still in the backfield. Herbert very well protected. Chance to survey the field all kinds of time, and now overthrows Juwan Johnson, who was covered by Jalen Johnson, and it's 4th down. It is the 3 and out.
Juwan Johnson started to pull away from Jalen, and you're right, he had all kinds of time. I think he may have grabbed onto the jersey. That's what Juwan Johnson indicated anyway. He has the time, and see right there.
What do you call that route?
He pulled onto the T-shirt.
Is there a name for that route that he just ran?
Well, that's your quarterback scrambling. Let me try to find anywhere I can go, but that's what Mario was saying. Hey, man, he's grabbing onto his jersey.
He was just turning circles like he was trying to shake a tail there.
Well, they got the 3 and out. They got what they needed.
They moaned to punt. It's a low one. And Simpkins comes up and skips out of bounds near midfield. Well, we're going to jump on the bird, head to Atlanta. I'm just going to enjoy the game. You got some business there. College Game Day built by the Home Depot. One more time. I'll be outside of Mercedes-Benz.
I'll be doing College Game Day in the morning. You'll be probably doing, what do you do, lunges, squats, what, in the morning?
Nap.
I got to.
Oh, look at you.
That's interesting.
Wheels Up
to Atlanta tonight.
No, Wheels Up was providing that. And then you're going to go up to Indy.
Up to the Big Ten. Up to Indy right after I do the SEC. I'm going to do game day in the morning, watch the SEC championship, fly up to Indy, watch the Big Ten championship, and then head up and do the selection show on Sunday.
Good luck with that. Huntley takes off. It's a keeper for 3. as Andy Ludwig will search for some answers in this second half.
Well, I like that start. I think Huntley's going to have to do everything he can, as much with his legs as he will with his arm. Andy Ludwig looking to try to, how can you attack a defense that doesn't respect your passing game? Try to get horizontal, try to get vertical, stretch them, and then you can go back to, of course, running Zach Moss too.
It's another keeper. It's a block on the edge from Keithy, and the quarterback takes off. That's one answer.
Well, look, that's what I'm saying is you stretched him. Look at everybody on the inside. This is the way they've been playing the entire first half. So if they're going to play that way, zone read. Now look at all this. Now you've got room to be able to get to the outside. You got a blocker and Keithy out there. So when you make Oregon stretch them, then you can make that defense have to adjust. Then you can find some creases between the tackles for Zach Moss.
Huntley in the pocket, fires to Keithy, who goes up, cannot come down with it. Would have been a terrific fingertip catch. Die in coverage.
But he came down hard.
He's still down.
But as he extended himself to go up and make this play, he did not have time to brace himself at all. So he came down, all of his body weight. Watch it just boom, right on that left side of his body, near his shoulder. Nothing to slow him down at all.
Take a break where they check out Keithy. Curtis Wilson navigating the All-State bus out of the blizzard in Minneapolis out here to the West Coast. Let's have a mayhem moment flashback with the Big 12 championship game in mind. Curtis.
Yeah, I mean, for the moment of the year, I think you got to go back to that game that we called a few weeks ago. It was 28-3. It looked like Oklahoma was out of it. And that might be the best individual performance of the year by Jalen Hurts. The hits that he took that night to lead the Sooners back, and we get to see it again tomorrow, of course, in Dallas.
2nd and 10, end around play by Dixon, and nothing is working. A huge hit there by Brady Breeze. The game of his life here.
Brady Breeze is knocking people around tonight. Known for his physicality. I mean, he looks like he's just tired of hearing about Utah. He has shown up tonight in a bad mood, making plays, the interception, just roaming from center field and just hitting people. Remember John Boyette, that great safety?
That's a good comparison. 3rd and 10. Huntley from the pocket has protection, flips it short. And Enos spinning, fighting. That's a good effort. He's going to earn the first down inside the 25. They desperately needed someone to step up and make a play like that.
Oregon's been making those plays in the first half, and you see Scott limping off, but Enos, the sophomore, 6'3", 205, and look who locks up with him in zone. Troy Dye's got it 4 yards, 5 yards short of the first down, but because of that club, he can't grab onto him, and Enos doesn't give up, twisting, turning, fighting. In the Capital One line to gain, he gets that for the Utes.
Finally convert on 3rd down for the first time in 7 tries. Huntley looking to throw him first down, just checks it down and has Moss open, and he'll barrel into the end zone, and the Utes finally dent the scoreboard. That was an impressive drive. They did it quickly until they got the good field position.
He wanted to go to Keithy right here, who's going to work towards the middle of this defense, but he does a good job of coming off of him. They've got it double covered. See where he pumps to throw that? The good news is he's got his check down right there, and there's nobody there that accounts for Moss, and that's Moss. Moss is a great runner, but he can also catch and then show you what he can do with the football after he's able to get the ball out in space.
23rd catch, 2nd touchdown. That was easy. Excellent blocking, as you said, downfield. Quarterback runs, set the drive up.
We say Kyle Whittingham, talk to that team at halftime. 3 and out, let's get a stop. Let's get the ball back to our offense. 20-7, here they come.
The Pac-12 Championship on ABC is presented by Dr. Pepper. Ice Cold Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville. And in part by General Mills. Bring more to your game day with General Mills tailgate recipes. See what you can create at wearetailgatenation.com.
We do like to throw data at you. Here's the All-State playoff predictor. You got an algorithm. This Bear was trying to explain this to me. I don't know how Georgia is given a 51% chance to make the playoff when they're underdog to LSU. You have no chance if you don't win the game. how are they better than 50 to make it? And Utah, ranked ahead of Oklahoma, was about a third of the chances the Sooners. This was coming into this game, remember?
Yeah.
So give Bear an email. He'll sort that out for you.
Was that the Muss flag? They brought the flag in here. I think the Utes are getting their fans wound up here a little bit.
Mighty Utah student section. The Muss is a huge factor in games in Salt Lake.
Yeah.
You're right. That crowd has been basically invisible throughout most of the night, trying to come to life here. And the short kickoff is taken. And Delgado is going to be knocked down. And all of a sudden, Utah fired up now.
There's a momentum swing in here. And Justin Herbert has been great in the first half with his decision-making, being patient, waiting for Jawan Johnson to pull away from Jalen Johnson. How about the anticipation here, finding Johnny Johnson catches the ball off of the corner, Nurse, and I love the eye manipulation, moving the free safety around, eventually going downfield, finds that Utah defense out of position and able to capitalize. Now, they went 3 and out on that first possession, and as I said, you can feel the energy. It feels different to start this second half. Looks like Utah's playing with a little bit of a different attitude.
You fake it to Johnny Johnson. Herbert lofts it over the head of Verdell, and Ducks fans are going to be wary because they've seen this team go into lulls. We saw it in Tempe.
It did.
7 empty possessions in a row before they got going late.
And I think the onus is on Marcus Arroyo and maintaining an aggressive approach. You know, you're up 20-7, 10-44 to go in the third. The reason they have that lead, and it could be actually bigger, is because they've been breaking tendencies. They've had Utah on their heels with an aggressive attacking mindset. They need to maintain that.
Verdell spun down to the 20. It's going to be 3rd and long.
Because right now Utah is, like I said, this is the first time that they've played with energy defensively the entire game. First time. And here we are with 10 minutes to go in the third quarter.
But as Whittingham said, you know, it's not too late. This is not a team that's had to rally from behind too often. Did so in Seattle. The toughest victory of the year, but unfamiliar position, by far the biggest deficit at 20. And the ball is snapped. Herbert wasn't ready for it. He has to dive and fall at the 1-yard line. A flag came out, but a miscommunication between Hansen and Herbert. Very nearly a disastrous play. He's slow to get up. Bradley and Nye came
the ruling
flying
on the
down.
field is the ball was recovered in the field to play. Illegal motion on number 10. That penalty's declined. Oakland plays 4th down.
He moves up as the ball is being snapped. He moved up to make an audible, and the center, Jake Hansen, thought he had actually called for the snap. See, he moves up. That's what they called, and they waved off. But now it's a free-for-all. Anai gets to Herbert and hits him hard right as he covers the ball. Look at his eyes. Last thing he's thinking about is the football. Makes a check. Ball snaps. Whoa! Right near his own goal line.
Just recovered it in the field of play, barely to avoid his safety. And Anai delivered a forearm shiver.
Little follow
helmet of the
there
quarterback.
too, yeah.
Maimon heels to the back line, gets a pretty good punt away. This drives Simpkins back. That's an excellent punt. Still bouncing around. That's all Oregon could hope for, as Utah will begin at their 42, but momentum has seriously shifted. There's a Ute down on the field. We'll check that. Herbert appears to be okay. Talked about the fans from the Sooners and the Baylor Bears looking in, certainly hoping that Oregon can hold on to this lead. Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship game, noon Eastern time in Dallas. A rematch of that furious comeback by the Sooners. Jalen Hurts leading the FBS with 50 touchdowns responsible for. Certainly could earn a ticket to New York as a Heisman finalist. And we'll see if CeeDee Lamb getting back into that game changes the game plan. Sooners have been a running team primarily down the stretch.
Absolutely.
That's Hubert, who was filling in for the injured Julian Blackman, who was on that punt coverage team. Keep an eye as he is kind of flung to the ground and grabs the back of his left leg.
Yeah, now he's actually being helped. It looks like he's walking off on his own. Now he's actually jogging, which is a good sign for Utah.
Another look at that as Herbert gathers the ball and Anai delivers a shot.
Anai comes through with that right forearm, and Again, what did Kyle Whittingham say at halftime? Defense, you got to get the ball back. Let this offense go. Let's open it up a little bit. 3 and out. First time Utah scores a touchdown. It's their second possession. Let's see what happens here. Remember, they ran the ball more that first possession with Huntley. Tried to stretch Oregon sideline to sideline a little more.
And he will not escape. Slung down by Amave.
But they've got depth. The Mubai this time just beats his man. One-on-one, just uses quickness, uses his hands. No, actually not blitzing. He's able to get in there and eventually get home. They had a couple guys get into that backfield. Oregon whipped Utah for the most part in the first half of the line of scrimmage. And here's another example of it.
You got near Huntley allowed. That's actually the first sack of the game. Evan Brumfield is the back, and the end around to hand the ball to Vickers, and he'll get just a couple. It'll be 3rd and long.
It is a tough answer for Andy Ludwig when you're getting beat up front with quickness. And he's trying to look at that play sheet, trying to figure out where do I go from here. And you're having hard time getting separation one-on-one on the outside, and you're getting beat at the line of scrimmage. Now they find themselves at 3rd and 11. 1 of 7 on the night of 3rd down.
Yeah, Enos's catch in the last 3rd down, the first time they converted. Pressure again off the back foot, flips it to Moss, and when in doubt, get it to your best offensive player. He doesn't get first down yardage. A 4th down decision now for Whittingham at midfield. You need 2.
Yep. These short yardage situations have not been very kind to the Utes tonight. Kyle Whittingham, even at midfield, right at the 50-yard line, feeling that this is an important enough time in the game where they need to go for this.
He's pushing shift forward here, Kirk.
Yep.
His defense has been playing well.
I think he got it.
Pinning him back, he's going to try to get the 2 yards.
I think you got to get him out of that pocket, get him away from the pressure. Keeping him in there.
And it's incomplete. He tried to get the ball to Sipkins on the slant. Thomas Graham Jr. in coverage, and the Ducks with yet another 4th down stop. Their 3rd stop on 4th and short tonight.
They challenged the best cover man to the far right for Thomas Graham. A quick slant. Graham doesn't bite at all, and with those long arms is able to work around the receiver Simpkins and be able to get the right hand to dislodge that football. And as you say, the Ducks come up with another stop and great field position.
Oregon's 3rd, 4th and short stop of the night. Gets him the football back at midfield. A chance to regain momentum. The Utes had claimed it. Riddell busts into the clear. Breaks another tackle. And barrels for a 24-yard gain deep into Utah territory.
Boy, what a block by Jake Hansen. He's got the linebacker, Bernard, 13, up tight. Look at him working, able to get him to that 2nd level. Just outstanding job by Hansen against an attacking linebacker. Watch him, 55. Punch right there. That kind of gives him, Bernard doesn't need a lot of room, but Hansen does a good job helping on that inside defensive tackle and climbing up to the backer.
Utes are down 2 safeties. Hubert out of the game. Blackman was hurt, injured early, the leader of that, and you got Nephi Sewell, number 29, the 3rd guy to try to step in there and play free safety tonight. Good luck.
Yeah, that's a tough loss where it's such a critical position, and that back end for Morgan Scalley and his defense. It's where you hope guys are invested during the week. They're not getting as many reps. Next thing you know, the 3rd safety finds himself in a game, a 13-point game, and a Pac-12 championship on the line.
Herbert has time, lofts it downfield over the head, and Red couldn't come up with it. The ball was drifting to the outside. He made a nice adjustment, but couldn't quite collect it.
Boy, did he bait the safety, Gidry, on the route, almost making it look like he wasn't even going out, just kind of taking the play off, and then just burst right by him.
The wind has really died down. It looked like maybe the swirling wind might have caught that football and taken it toward the sideline. Justin Herbert all of a sudden 0 for his last 5 throwing the football. It's a chance to get a stop here on 3rd and 9. Oregon has had problems kicking field goals. They're not in field goal range right now for Camden Lewis. Here's what happened. Oregon makes a substitution, so Utah's allowed to on defense, but they ran 2 big bodies on. They took so much time doing it that Cristobal had to spend a timeout to keep the play clock from winding down. We've seen more defenses do this lately.
Watch him throw his headsets. I'm talking spike, like the NFL. You score a touchdown, you take the ball, and you just spike it. I mean, he threw those headsets.
Well, they put in the rules to protect the defense. When the offense changes personnel, you got to allow the defense to do it. We've seen this, though, recently this year, where defensive coordinators taking a longer time to get the subs in there, and the play clock ticks down.
Yeah, and in this case, Utah, they've been taking advantage of how much time the big fellas are getting on and off the field. They've kind of taken advantage of the rule because they're not in a hurry at all to run off the field.
It's an interesting play here because Oregon's field goal trouble is well chronicled. It's not an automatic from where they are, and adding points to the lead is important at this point, whether it's 3 or 7. See what Arroyo has called on 3rd down, a 2-back look. And now Dime motions out. It's Verdell running for the corner and hit hard, but spinning and fighting, and it's a first down at the 15. What a tough run from C.J. Verdell.
He is such an underrated back. They get the edge on 3rd and 9 pretty easily. They didn't have to work to seal that edge. There's just nobody that's containing. I thought the corner 14, Nurse, he did not come up to make the tackle. He just was going to use contact and physicality instead of wrapping him up, and that's what gave Verdell a chance to get those extra yards.
Verdell with 92 yards, over 1,000 yards, just like his freshman year. Now Herbert keeps it. Big fella lowers his shoulder, delivers more than he takes the blow there, and gets down to the 6.
Yeah, reading Tafua, the in man on the line of scrimmage. He collapsed just enough for him to be able to pull it. He feels he can get around him. Again, this is not part of Oregon's offense this year. So Utah's in surprised by it.
2, ran in motion, and the throw was behind him. He says, my bad. Fellas, he should have had that. 3rd and 2 coming up.
Such a nice compliment to the zone read game tonight of running Herbert, getting the ball off of jet motion, where now he gives them those defensive ends the same look. And then he keeps it and then throws the ball quickly out into the flat, puts those defensive ends in a really tough spot in a jam.
More than double what Utah has given up on average on the ground already by Oregon. Ducks need 2. Verdell into heavy traffic. That time not able to work free. Gained nothing. Francis Bernard met him, and now here comes the field goal team on 4th down.
Yeah, that time the big defensive line doing their job, eating up those blocks and freeing up Bernard to get down and make that play.
Field goal makes it a 16-point margin. Camden Lewis has been perfect on his 2 previous chip shots. And he has this from 25. Not pretty, but it counts. Again, 23-7. So Oregon able to regain momentum and get the stop at midfield, and they drive it down for a field goal, taking 2:49. AT&T presenting the rankings. We've laid out the plot lines. They're pretty clear. Oklahoma and Baylor would be the big beneficiaries of this Oregon upset win over Utah tonight. And we'll see if Georgia, shorthanded, underdogs in Atlanta, can knock off LSU. That would be the final, and I guess, the wrinkle if you think that Ohio State and Clemson will take care of business in their games.
The Ducks not dealing with the rain very well tonight. I thought he would enjoy the rain.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
They're kind of built for the rain, aren't they?
Yeah. Well,
I ran into him at a party tonight. I took a picture with him just for your benefit. For me, the second wackiest guest picker in the history of college game day after Katy Perry.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
He brought a blender out on the set. He made a mess.
Bill Murray's up there.
Yeah, but Bill didn't bring a blender.
No, body slam Lee Corso.
He did. He's in the top. He's in the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, you have to put him up there.
gets into it, and Vickers says nothing doing.
I think Brady Breeze, somewhat symbolic of Oregon's defensive performance tonight. He's been all over the field. This is the first possession on 4th and 1. Setting the tone. Comes up with a big interception, showing the range in center field, but there's a big time hit. He has come into this game on a mission, sitting back there at safety, playing a great game.
One of those guys, homegrown, Lake Oswego, Oregon, has alternated with Nick Pickett a lot this year, but it's been the Breeze show tonight. Utes finally found the end zone on their last possession. Now begin 75 yards away, and Moss will go backwards. Spun down, immediate penetration by Brandon Dorius, one of the emerging defensive linemen.
Yeah, again, they're rotating a lot of bodies, and just watch the battle at the line of scrimmage. And look at this. They're just whipping them, just going right by Nick Ford. It's not even a battle. There's not engaging or sustaining blocks at all. If it's not one guy, it's another guy that's able to get off of a block and get penetration into that backfield.
Huntley steps up, scrambles, delivers complete far side. Simpkins will be wrestled down about 5 yards short by Lenore. Molly?
Well, Chris, Oregon defensive line coach Joe Salaveo was telling his players they don't know what to do because they can't run the ball. They haven't had anybody go after them like this, so they don't know how to handle it. So the Ducks defense is oozing with confidence right now, Chris.
Yeah, the strength of the team would not be the offensive line. Utah's been able to manage it pretty well, but they have not been exploited like this all season long. 3rd and 4. Huntley delivers, catch made, far side, Enos, and he's been a go-to guy to convert a couple of 3rd downs. They moved his 6 to the 37.
Good recognition, right? Even before in pre-snap with the quarterback, Huntley sees Enos and Breeze, as much we've been bragging on him, into the boundary, give him about a 10-yard cushion, and just throws a quick out. Uncontested, a nice easy throw and easy pickup of a 1st down. Right now, the reason they're facing a defense that's controlling a line of scrimmage is because they're not able to get anything going in the passing game, and the Ducks do not fear the vertical pass game.
Play action on 1st down. Huntley wanted to throw downfield. Now he escapes, and he's got room. A flag way behind the play, way after Huntley had escaped the pocket, but they're going to be penalized.
Holding. Offense number 85. 10 yards from the previous spot. Remains 1st down.
Second penalty on Hunter Thedford tonight, the tight end.
As you said, way behind Funa. It had nothing to do with the play. Funa, who Thedford ends up holding up the top of your screen. 85. See him. Now watch. You'll see Huntley get out of there. And right there, he's 5 or maybe 8 yards by him. And Thedford decides to hold the freshman, even though he had no chance of making a play. Now you get behind the sticks, which is exactly what this offense cannot afford to do against an attacking defense.
Extremely costly penalty. And 1st and 20. Give it to Moss on the end around. He's scooting. He's got a huge gap there. They didn't defend the play at all. He got the edge easily and busts it. Now a flag comes down after the tackle on the Oregon bench.
Nice job of setting the edge there by the big tight end, fathering him. And now you can see all that room. Man to man, defensive backs have their backs to the ball. Nobody to account for Moss once he got around the edge.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense number 21. 15 yards to the end of the play. Automatic 1st down.
Wow, so
that's number 21's first unsportsmanlike of the game.
Goes from 1st and 20 to get a 33-yard run, tack on 15, and the ball's at the Ducks' 25-yard line.
You know what? And I love the call because it was the taunting. It wasn't the hit, but it was what he did after he made the block, Enos. And the official made the right call, being on top of that.
Things are heating up here in the 3rd quarter. Huntley rolls, flips it short. Nothing doing that time. Devin Brumfield came out of the backfield, and he was brought down by Slade Matuatia.
We're seeing more and more of this in college football. Watch, it wasn't a push. It was getting over top of him, and they both start getting back and forth with each other. And of course, Graham is right there. A lot of times they catch the second guy who's involved. I like officials drawing a line. Let these players know you can't cross it.
Final 2 minutes of the quarter on 2nd and 9. Moss trying to bounce this one. And a lot of runs tonight have looked a lot like that. Early penetration, and Moss is just fighting for his life after that.
Yeah, there's just nowhere to go. They're pulling a lineman, and meanwhile Oregon's getting penetration into the backfield. It's a mismatch really at the line of scrimmage. Oregon doing a nice job, much like Utah, rotating D linemen, trying to stay fresh, and it's working.
3rd and 10. It's Keithy, who came back after having the concussion protocol. He's in the slot to the right. Huntley looking up to the left. Lost for the end zone. Caught. Nakua. Touchdown. And the Utes are fighting back. What a throw.
They got him in the slot fade. See him latched up right there against Holland. Gives him a good move, but it's really the throw, Chris. The location of that ball by Huntley. Outside shoulder gives him a chance because he's lined up in the slot to work away from the defender. I mean, that could not be thrown any better by Tyler Huntley.
Dropped it in a bucket.
Sure did.
Now down 10. They'll go for 2 to make this suddenly a 1-score game. Only tried 1 all year, didn't make it. Huntley from the pocket delivers a low throw, and it's Nakua again. Scores a touchdown, gets the 2-point try. We have suddenly a 1-score game.
How about Nakua? He tries to reach as he catches it. He's trying to get it across, and he does, and the ball never comes close to touching the surface. Catches it, tries to extend the ball across the plane, and does. Even though his head lands out of the end zone, the ball easily breaks the plane for the 2-pointer. But a tremendous effort, back-to-back plays by Nakua.
Samson Nakua, a former walk-on, earned a scholarship a few seasons ago and has had to step up because Britton Covey has been a stud receiver for them since his freshman year. They want to preserve the redshirt year. At this point, they're not going to bring him back. Nakua asked to play an increased role. And very quickly, it is a 1-score game.
Look at the emotion on the sideline of the Utah team, the fans. It's college football. You know, from one half to the next, it's like watching a different team. Just goes to show you how much the emotions can impact momentum and the game of football.
A 15-point third quarter for Utah, keeping the Ducks to a chip shot field goal. And that last possession was important. Utah's playoff chances not dead just yet. Davis and Wright stacked deep. And this will be Wright on a short kickoff. And the speedy freshman is going to be spun down. Pretty good coverage. And Oregon will begin from the 23, minute 8 in the third quarter. Zach Brown back,
yeah.
Your guest picker there.
College game day at the SEC Championship in Atlanta tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern. We'll preview all the championships, all the discussion about the CFP playoffs, and Zach Brown, in fact, will be our celebrity picker at the end of the show there in Atlanta. Should be a great show and a lot of fun discussion and debates tomorrow morning.
Including debate sparked by what happens here in the final 16 minutes and 8 seconds. Dye goes in motion. Burdell takes the handoff and he'll be knocked down after a 4-yard gain by Lloyd.
I go back when Kyle Whittingham went for it on 4th and 2 earlier this quarter at midfield when they started to regain momentum. They lost it for a brief moment. They ended up giving up a field goal, but man, give Tyler Huntley and that offense a lot of credit for not just scoring with a great throw, but I think, you know, again, it's about trying to not just get back in the game, but keep this defense sparked and playing with energy.
There's a run blitz. Burdell goes right into it. You know, Whittingham, aggressive by nature. It's the way he played at BYU. It's the way he skis. He just goes right down the mountain, Kurt. No fancy turns. Plays tennis aggressively, rides his Harley aggressively. And he's tried to coach aggressively tonight, but they've not been able to win the line of scrimmage so far.
They've been battling uphill, but they put themselves in a position, down a possession as we head into the fourth quarter.
Oregon with a 3rd and 4. 15 minutes to play. Ducks playing for a Rose Bowl bid. Utah playing for, at the very least, a Rose Bowl, perhaps a college football playoff bid. Can Huntley engineer a fourth quarter comeback? We're back for the final quarter after this message and a word from your local ABC station. Pac-12 trophy awaits. 23-15 Oregon after 3. Pac-12 championship game on ESPN, presented by Dr. Pepper. Part of Dr. Pepper Championship Week. Ducks trying to keep the football. Keep Utah's offense off the field. Need 4. Only 37 yards on their 15 plays in that third quarter. Utes crowd the line. Herbert has protection, lofts it downfield, but a poor throw. It drifted outside. Tried to get the ball to Addison, and it's 4th down.
Boy, really good coverage by Gidry. He took Jalen Red in that jet motion look, and Red tried to create a pick. It didn't work because of the tight coverage by Gidry, and he had nowhere to go but take a chance. There's in the background that tight coverage. He had nowhere to go but throw it downfield to Addison, but tight coverage by Jalen Johnson.
Simpkins standing at his 25 to receive Mamon's punt. Utah a chance to build on this comeback momentum. Mamon has punted really well tonight. This is a low kick and it's returnable from the 26. Simpkins can't make a turn and is stopped at the 30. Huntley frustrated at times, not well protected. Sparked things with a couple of runs early in the third quarter.
Yeah, got him out on the edge, and I think it helped create a little bit of momentum, and then they were able to throw the ball. You can see he had a little bit more time, did a nice job of coming off of his primary, the tight end, Keithy, and ended up checking it down. And this is an incredible throw. What accuracy at a crucial moment, and a nice catch there by Nakua to give him that touchdown. They hit the two-pointer to give him pull within 8.
14 of 21 for those 160 yards. That was his best play of the night, that touchdown throw. Now they go back to Moss. He's had to work really hard. You can see how a patient runner he is, kind of running, waiting for the crease, but there have been very few creases tonight.
Yeah, getting outnumbered often. I mean, they're doing a good job of getting off of blocks, but then you look at the linebackers and safeties, it's hard to get away from them all. What a difference from the first half to just one quarter for Utah's offense.
After 6 failed third down conversions and a couple on 4th down, they finally converted 3 in that third quarter. 2nd and 8. Ducks are pointing.
That's left guard. Oh, they're going to talk about it.
Braden Daniels, the guy the Ducks were pointing at, saying he flinched to draw them offside.
71 offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
Another one of the freshmen, Daniels and Mwala, redshirt freshmen on that offensive line, have struggled tonight.
Yeah, it's been a tough battle up front there. Remember, they did a nice job. We said they got behind the sticks. The last thing this offense wants to do, their last possession. And then they got around the corner with Moss and caught Oregon in man-to-man coverage.
Huntley flips it short. Moss again as a receiver. Takes a hit, spins, and it'll be 3rd down and 6. Dye stopped him.
With Moss taking some shots, Troy Dye just sitting there waiting for that ball to potentially be thrown. And Moss doing a good job just to be able to really even hold on to that. As the ball was thrown behind him, he had to turn right towards the hit of Troy Dye. It gives him a better, much better chance now on this 3rd down and 6.
See if that front can protect Huntley. He's got a free play. Ducks jumped offside, ducked underneath, and Enos is spun down well short of the marker. Don't know if he knew he had a free play.
Yeah, to his right, he probably saw Thibodeau 5 jump offside.
Defense number 5 in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty. Replay 3rd down.
Most quarterbacks take a shot down.
Right. He's like, I'm just looking for anybody. Anybody in a white jersey who is open at this point, I'm going to take. It's better than getting a hit on another pressure.
Makes it 3rd and 1. So Thibodeau, who's been in the backfield all night, had the block punt. That miscue could prove large if the Utes can get the third and short here.
They have not done a good job running up the middle on these short yardage situations. Probably just got to try to get a little outside, try to get a little more on the perimeter. Tough sledding between the tackles.
They try the middle one there, and Moss this time has success. First down to the 43.
They were able to fight and claw there for just enough to be able to get the first down. The one on the left side.
Moss had a couple of big runs. It doesn't feel like he's averaged 6 yards a carry though tonight, right? He's been hemmed in and hemmed in. Gotten out twice.
Yeah, gotten out a couple times to help his average. Actually, left guard Brandon Daniels, nice job there, sustaining his block to give Moss that chance.
Play action. Huntley wanted to look downfield. Now he's just trying to stay alive. Chased. Lucky not to fumble the ball as he was run down from behind by Bryson Young.
What about the first time when Holland got into him? I thought Holland had a chance to be able to knock this ball away. Watch this move. This is crazy where he olays him. The ball, look how far it is away. Huntley probably works with his quarterback coach to try to avoid doing this, but whatever it takes to be able to get away from Holland, and then how he holds on to it even there from Young, I have no idea.
Your fans just holding their breath on that one. It could have been a fumble twice. Loss of 4. Play clock, man at 2. Gotta hurry, just does get it off. Pump fake. And now he'll launch it down the sidelines. And trying to fight back to the ball is Dixon. And a couple of flags come in. Mikhail Wright, the freshman in coverage, with palms up. Can't believe the call.
They took a page out of the book of Arizona State a couple weeks ago. Remember, we saw Arizona State abuse this Oregon defense.
Number 2, 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
The fastest receiver at the top, little stutter, little double move. He actually doesn't quite bite on it, but the ball, anytime it's underthrown, you always see it, and the defensive back doesn't get his head turned around to locate the ball. He's going to run into the receiver who's trying to come back to the ball, and an easy call for the official.
You're right, though. The double moves were a nightmare for the secondary against the Sun Devils. Wright's got tremendous makeup speed. That wasn't the problem. He just lost track of the football. Penalty moves the ball to the 46. Keeper, and he's just spun down. Ducks were not fooled. Troy Dye says, nuh-uh. I played 1,000 games of college football. I'm not fooled at all.
Troy Dye makes the play, but Breeze, again up here, watch the safety not allow himself to be blocked. He forces the quarterback to cut underneath, and the tight end that time, Keithy, trying to block him, but once again, Brady Breeze makes a play for this Ducks defense by containing him, not letting him get to the outside.
It's an offense that does not have a lot of negative plays. It's been a rarity this season. Oregon has forced a bunch tonight. They're behind the 6 again. And they swarm him. Huntley sacked. Kayvon Thibodeau and Slade Matuatia combining. And they're way behind the 6 now.
Wow. Thibodeau, the right side, right here, out and then back inside, and the right tackle, Ma'ala, has had a hard time dealing with his suddenness and quickness. Remember, 5 is a true freshman. Highly touted. He came in last year from California. A lot of people wanted him, not just on the West Coast, but all over the country, and he has had a big night owning the right side of that offensive line, especially the right tackle from Utah.
This Oregon defense, overshadowed by Utah's in the conference and by their own offense, has had a big night. And now Huntley pressured again by Thibodeau, but he dumps it to Moss. Can Moss weave his way for a first down? He's fighting. He's going to be stopped at the 40, 4 yards short.
Well, he hasn't had a huge night running the ball, but they've done a good job checking it down to him and just giving him a chance on 3rd down and long. There's Thibodeau again. Look at him. He almost gets to Huntley. Huntley does a good job of just keeping the play alive. And then that's just Moss being a great athlete, trying to get just enough of that first down, comes up short.
Talked about how aggressive Whittingham is, but his team has struggled so much on 4th down. He says, now we're within 1 score. We're going to punt it down there and let the defense work. Hopefully pinning the Ducks in bad field position. Lennon, the Aussie, kicks it high with backspin, and Not exactly what they want. The fair catch made by Holland at the 10-yard line. Ducks back to work, up 8, 9:28 to play. Pacific Life game summary is the quarterback comparison. Frustrating first half for Huntley, with the protection breaking down. Much stronger third quarter. A couple of touchdown passes. Meanwhile, Justin Herbert 0 for his last 7. Has not completed a pass since midway second quarter. And here, Johnny Johnson.
That's crunch time in his game now, Justin Herbert. Time to see what he can do to lead his team. Hold on to this lead, up 8.
Able to draw to Utah side with a cloud as a free play. Works it underneath. And that's Addison making a catch right near the marker.
Like he
Utes
said,
are still so eager.
Yeah, still, but good. We're just talking about Herbert, little things like that. Hard snap count like
Defense
that. With
number 52 in the neutral zone. That penalty's declined. The result of the play is second down.
It's the free play, but it just it slows that defensive line down because now they're a little hesitant the next snap. See that hard clap? Again, anything you can do to slow the big athletic defensive lineman from Utah down helps your own O-line.
Been burned about 3 times on that tonight.
Yep.
Now on second and short, they're going to throw for it. And the catch is made there by Juwan Johnson, so they move to 6.
Yeah, it was tight man-to-man coverage there with Jalen Johnson on Juwan Johnson. But an accurate throw gives them that first down. And I think it's important for Oregon, even with the lead, 9 minutes to go, continue to be aggressive. If there's been times over the last year or two where they've talked to us and said, if we get it back, we got a little too conservative, want to stay aggressive. This would be an example of that.
The Auburn game comes to mind. They led for 55 minutes of that game before Bo Nix threw a touchdown pass in the last 30 seconds. I would love to chew a whole bunch of clock.
With Devin Lloyd, who's had a big year, played safety in high school, they needed him to step up. Manny Bowen, who transferred from Penn State into Utah, decided to quit football, so they turned to 20 Lloyd to take over after they lost 2 outstanding linebackers from a year ago, Cody Barton and Chase Hansen.
Bowen goes through the offseason, spring practice, the first day of fall camp, says, I'm retiring, guys. They caught him completely off guard. Burdell shakes off a tackle at the line of scrimmage. Another tough run to the 30. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Well, that time Lloyd tried to be aggressive and get into the backfield, and just a step slow, which gave Burdell, because he took that risk, a chance to get around him. And then there's not a linebacker there, so he had a lot of yards to pick up there to give him a much better chance here at 3rd and 1. But you admire the chance that Devin Lloyd took, even though he came up just a step slow.
Another one of those plays where the line of scrimmage battle is in sharp focus. Burdell right up the middle, breaks free. C.J. Burdell aiming for the end zone. Can they run him down? No! Touchdown Ducks! 70 yards. And Oregon closing in on Pasadena.
Chris, watch the block here by Dallas Warmack, the right guard in the center, Jake Hansen. Watch him work and bury the Utah defensive line, and Hansen gets up to the linebacker. Lloyd, watch that right guard, watch his block. Boom, buries him and opens that hole up. And there's the speed as C.J. Burdell takes it all the way to the house.
And an Oregon defense that has been historically good stopping the run. 3 defenses since '96 have been as tough as them. The Ducks are winning for 201 tonight.
The Pac-12 Championship on ABC is presented by Dr. Pepper. Ice Cold Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville. And in part by Pacific Life. 150 years strong. Protection and retirement solutions for your future.
Talked about the physical battle in the pit, Kirk, tonight.
Man.
Edge Ducks.
Yeah, watch this block. The right guard, we talked about Warmack. Guess who he's going up against? Leki Fotu. 6'6", 335, or 335, one of the top interior defensive linemen and just puts him on his back. You're talking about a 4-quarter war in those trenches. Pac-12 championship on the line. Critical moment in this game, and Warmack opens up that hole for Verdell to get off that attempted tackle there by the safety Burgess, and he takes it to the end zone for a touchdown.
And fills the heart of his head coach with joy. Because Mario Cristobal prides himself on being a head coach who's very much in tune with the offensive line. This is Vickers trying to spark Utah. The coverage is good, and he's going to be spun down. Cristobal, of course, a former offensive lineman at Miami who has come here. He works with the offensive lineman. He recruits the offensive lineman. He's tried to reshape the culture of this team physically. That play symbolized it.
No doubt.
Monday Night Football. Saquon and the Giants take on the Eagles in Philly. Monday Night Countdown at 6 Eastern Time, and then the game over on ESPN at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. The tenants of this building, the 49ers, are in New Orleans. A showdown for perhaps home field advantage in the NFC.
That's a big one.
Folks around these parts excited about that one on Sunday. Utah down by 15 again. Desperation with 7 minutes to go. Huntley pressured, and Thibodeau's got him yet again. The freshman has been a star this season. Tonight, he showed the world what he can do.
He sure can, or he sure has, Chris. And here he is, ISO'd. He's been lined up on the offense's right side. This time he's against Daniels, the left guard, and he is having a night. Talk about having a coming out party for the true freshman. He's had a great year, but this is a big stage for him to showcase his talent and skill set.
Talking about, which guys have been the most valuable for the Ducks if they hold on. Thibodeau is a contender. Brady Breeze, the safety's made some big plays. There are plenty of heroes in green. Huntley launches downfield, and it's over the head of his receiver, Nakua.
Up 15, 6 minutes to go. Utah in obvious pass mode right now, and it's allowing that defensive line that's already had a big night, led by Thibodeau, just to continue to not fear anything other than just getting to the quarterback, Huntley, as quickly as they can, and they're not necessarily needing to blitz to do that. I mean, they're rushing 4, and he's got about 1.5 seconds to maybe 2 seconds to get the ball out or scramble to buy time.
Down by 2 scores. This was a crucial possession. Now it's 3rd and 18, and Huntley sets up at his goal line and launches downfield to fight on the edge, and unable to come back for the ball is Dixon. Lenore in coverage, 4th down.
And I almost felt like that was, there's 50-50 balls, and then there's just, you throw it up, you hope. I mean, this play never had a chance. They try again, that little stutter and go, but the ball is never even close to getting to Dixon. I think they were almost just hoping to pull a pass interference there to get a 1st down.
Talked about the lack of separation. Simpkins has plenty of speed. They haven't been able to get him free deep, and the other Utes receivers really not built for that.
No, not at all. And we thought the tight end maybe might have a chance to be able to do that in Keiti, but he's not had many opportunities at all.
Lennon with a low boot. Holland will be wise just to get away from it. You don't want to make a mistake as a punt returner when you're up by 15 points in the 4th quarter of a conference championship game. Rolls dead inside of 6 minutes to play. The Ducks get the ball back, up by 15. 15-point margin in the final 6 minutes. Huntley pressured, harassed, sacked 4 times, and hit a whole bunch of times. Join ESPN and the V Foundation in the fight against cancer. Visit v.org/donate. All donations benefiting the V Foundation for Cancer Research. Ducks hold this lead. It'll be the result the fans in the Big 12 wanted out of tonight. It would set up Oklahoma and Baylor in Dallas tomorrow at noon Eastern Time for a CFP bid. Unless Georgia upset LSU.
And on behalf of the Georgia fans, just hold on now. I mean, if Georgia wins.
I said unless.
Okay,
Georgia
snuck that in, dot, at the end.
We've said that all night.
Yeah, well, if
no, Georgia's in at the moment.
Yeah, and obviously if Georgia wins, LSU's in. The door shuts on Oklahoma and Baylor. If you're an Oklahoma and a Baylor fan, you need Georgia to lose. And if you do, I know you know. A lot of people are confused. If Oklahoma ends up having an opportunity to play Baylor, it's important for people to know by Utah losing tonight, the door opened for Matt Rule and Baylor, because if Georgia goes down, the winner of the Big 12 championship, whether it's Oklahoma or Baylor, is the 4th team. How about Matt Rule in 3 years? Whether he gets there or not, just the fact he's playing on the final weekend to give Baylor a chance to get to a playoff.
It's amazing. They had a triple overtime win, a double overtime win. They've survived narrow wins against Iowa State. Rice gave them a battle early in the year, but they have found a way to win. The Sooners have also had a whole bunch of close games. That's why Utah was ranked ahead of both those Big 12 teams coming in. They've been dominant in their victories, except for tonight. And I want to get your thoughts on Georgia LSU. Of course, the Dogs in with a chance.
Love to.
About a touchdown underdog in that game. Herbert rolls out on third down and delivers a low throw. Nice job by Johnson going down, making the catch, and they will continue to move to 6, and that's crucial.
Yep, motion him over. Really tough for Utah with him moving over to have tight coverage with that bunch set. The way that formation ended after the motion, and he was the inside receiver. Just use those two outside receivers to work to the outside, and nobody from Utah could prevent him from getting open freely there.
Bayou Bengals stay perfect in Atlanta, Kirk. There's really not a whole lot to talk about on that selection show. It's going to be the Big 12 winner as the 4th seed. It'll be interesting to see if the committee keeps the seedings where they are, 1, 2, 3. Should Ohio State, LSU, and Clemson all win?
And that's a big deal. I mean, obviously, if those 3 win, you know, with LSU, if they were able to win, knock off number 4 Georgia, would that be enough to push them up to number 1, or will Ohio State still be 1 if they were to win, just because they've been consistent?
Utah spends a timeout. Take it with them. Ducks 3 minutes 52 seconds from the Rose Bowl. You can go to the ESPN app for coverage of the Pac-12 championship game trophy ceremony immediately following the game. Conference championship trophy, MVP to be handed out. And the Ducks from the start set the tone physically. A 4th down stop on Utah's opening series. They went right down and scored. I think they had this Utah team, which came in favored, stunned early. Utes rallied, got some momentum, but it was too big a mountain to climb.
Yeah, I really think that Mario Cristobal and his offensive coordinator and the entire offensive staff, Marcus Arroyo, deserve a lot of credit. This looks like a different team from the team we saw a couple weeks ago in Tempe with their approach.
Back to the Rose Bowl for the first time since the very first college football playoff game against the Seminoles. Marcus Mariota and Jameis Winston, a showdown of Heisman Trophy winners. Jameis had that self-fumble scoop and score, and the Ducks laid the lumber. Won it by 39, eventually losing the championship game to Ohio State, and that's the first year of the CFP. And they are headed back under Mario Cristobal this time, and this will be a tremendous continuation of momentum. They've hit the recruiting trail very hard, but all these Ducks fans are right in front of us here, Kirk. I do sense that some of them are thinking, oh, what if that game in Tempe had not happened? Yeah. They'd be in playoff position. They'd be sitting right there.
Yeah, I thought leading into that game, I thought the winner of this game, if they both showed up with 1 loss, the winner's going to go into the playoff, have a great shot. And if Georgia were to slip up, and of course, like you said, they let it slip through their fingers.
Herm Edwards and the Sun Devils. Jane Daniels riddling this Duck secondary with some big plays on that night. Mario talking about they were really out of character and really on both sides of the ball that night. Rose Bowl's a heck of a nice consolation prize. Dr. Pepper, unrivaled player of the game. And we're going to give it to the safety. You would not have had his name on your lips at the beginning of the game as the MVP, but he stepped up early with the 4th down stop.
I think the first drive kind of set the tone, and Brady Breeze has been all over this field, just very, very deserving of being recognized as the player of the game. And sometimes it's not just about the stats, it's about the attitude that he played with. And Oregon took the fight to this Utah team, and Brady Breeze led the way.
Bunch of heroes. Thibodeau would have been another contender on the defensive side. Verdell, there's 177 rushing yards, had the big 70-yard touchdown to secure the lead. And the punt is a touchback. Over on ESPN, after the Lakers and Blazers are done, SportsCenter with Linda Cohn and Stan Barrett. Look back at the best moments in the head-to-head between LeBron and Carmelo. Giannis's 23rd birthday. Look at his milestone so far, and obviously we'll talk about the CFP.
You talked about Georgia earlier and what I think about that. Underdog in Atlanta, 70% of that dome will be Georgia fans. All that defense is heard about is how in the world do you stop Joe Burrow? I don't know. I think Georgia's going to show up in a feisty mood. We'll see if it's enough, but they're going to come in there with it, kind of like Oregon did tonight. I think with a big chip on their shoulder. I don't know if they have the offense to win the game, but it's going to be a battle in Atlanta.
Tough night for the Hollandale trio. Simpkins with the drop. And for these Utah Utes, it's because of the bowl affiliations of the conference. You come into this game thinking, we get the win, we're headed to the playoff. The way it's going to fall now, Oregon go to the Rose Bowl, the Alamo Bowl, is where Utah will head to, and they'll try to regroup and close out the year down in San Antonio. And there's an interception. The second tonight for Huntley, only threw 2 all season long.
He stared that one down, and Troy Dye just was able to sit in coverage, just almost waiting for him to throw. He's right here. Watch him just kind of bait him, wait. As I said, Huntley stared down his intended target, Keithy, the whole way. Look at Dye waiting. He's got his eyes back on the quarterback, and even with that big cast on that right hand, right thumb, still able to go up and make an interception. How fitting for the leader and the 4-year starter at linebacker for the Ducks.
The heroes are many in dark green tonight, especially on that defensive side. Huntley out of character. We said he really hadn't thrown an impact interception all season long. Threw a couple tonight, clearly pressing late in the game.
I just don't think he's seen a defensive front. I mean, we singled out a few guys, Thibodeau and some others, but it was really the entire defensive line, the way they played.
Herbert with the keeper. He kept it early to kind of keep the Utes defense off balance, and quarterback keeper very late in this victory.
Okay. Not afraid at all to run the ball and lead his team.
Rain begins to fall, but it really wasn't a factor tonight, which is a relief. We thought it might be a soaker to really impact the offenses. It's held off. This game is headed for Vegas the next couple of years. They'll move the Pac-12 championship game to the same city that hosts the Pac-12 basketball tournament, and they hope that the attendance will be a lot better. It's been a struggle here in the Bay Area for the couple of years that it's been here. Riddell breaks free, and another house call to punctuate a championship victory for Oregon. Defense that had been impenetrable against the run all season long, ripped apart tonight by the Ducks.
Well, we've been talking about the line in the right side with Warmack. The center, Jake Hansen, has had a monster game against this physical defensive line from Utah. We should give him a game ball. But it was the blocking again of Hansen. This time it's Shane Lemieux, the veteran left guard, who's, how about this, making his 51st start tonight.
Riddell now a 200-yard game. 208 on 18 rushes.
See the center right here, Hansen. He'll work and push to open it. But the great block here is by Shane Lemieux. You see the center work, opens it up. But look at 68 working. Two different defenders he occupies there, including the safety, Burgess. And Burdell once again hits a crease and takes it to the house.
Bear hugs from Cristobal. Every offensive lineman that came off the field. The rain is falling. He didn't care. For him, that's the personality of this team, the guys up front.
He challenged his offensive line all week. We're going against Utah. We're going against Kyle Whittingham. We're going against this defensive front. It's the best he's said on record, Kyle Whittingham. Best defense he's had. Mario challenged. Remember, he's got all seniors across the board except for the left tackle, Sewell. And he challenged them to say, can you match this physicality? That's what we pride ourselves as a program on, is not just the offensive line, but the physicality. That's why he's so emotional and so fired up, because of the way they played up front against Utah for 60 minutes.
Sewell's younger brother, verbal commitment, another 5-star recruit, offensive lineman Noah. He's continuing to build this program from the trenches outward. Riddell just bursts up the middle again. He's so little he can hide behind those big offensive linemen, then explode.
Yeah, he's been the beneficiary of this offensive line. Look at his face. Look at Mario Cristobal. That's a left guard that's making his 51st start. You talk about a veteran. And you can see the tears in his eyes there. So proud of his line. Burdell now up to 208 yards on the night.
About 4 times what Utah was given up per game this season alone. Huntley airmails it over Simpkins' head. If you haven't seen Utah all year, this is not how the Utes have played football. I mean, I know a lot of it has to do with Oregon. They've been out of sorts, though.
Yeah, they have been. And see, again, the emotion. They're so proud because of the way they played. I just want to give Justin Herbert a shout-out because of the way. You're not going to look at his numbers tonight and be overwhelmed by it. But you know what? He brought a competitive spirit in here. Sometimes he gets knocked. He gets into these bigger games. People want to see a little bit more fire, a little bit more of a competitive spirit. And I thought he brought that tonight, the way he led his offense and his team.
Not going to be the CFP. And Huntley is just spun down again. This is incredible. Thibodeau is just teeing off.
It's been a long night for the offensive line. Mala, the right tackle. Look, he just can't get out there quick enough. The speed and the quickness.
Hey, this career is just beginning. He's going to give quarterbacks hell for the next couple of years in this conference. I mean, you see why he was the top-rated recruit last year.
False start offense. Not all 11 players were set prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Didn't have a sack at halftime, Kirk. 5 after the break. So you can rule out the Pac-12 and have just 2 appearances in what will be the first 6 years of it. Glendale, Arizona, and Atlanta, the semifinals on the 28th. And the Superdome, where they'll play the championship game. Moss on the dump down, flag behind the play. He's got a 1st down, but this one will come back.
Holding. Offense number 50. Half the distance to the goal. Remains 3rd down.
Would be something to see if LSU gets in the playoff and wins the semifinal. We've seen LSU play for a national championship before in the Superdome. But the matchups are incredibly intriguing in the semifinals as well. Third and 29. What do we got here called? Dump it down. Bothering him. Knocked down across the 16. Ducks will be tuned in tomorrow to see what happens in the Big Ten championship game. Ohio State win, of course. They go to the playoff. Maybe even a loss. You could still make a case for the Buckeyes. They've been so dominant. Would it be Wisconsin? Would it be Penn State? Whoever it is going to have to deal with the charged up defense. Just one more sack to punctuate things. 4th and a mile now. Dye providing the pressure. And it's a curtain call for this Dutch defense. The offensive line had their moment a minute ago. Now it's the defense's turn to celebrate. Victory formation, and Justin Herbert and his teammates, a complete team victory, are going to head to Pasadena, and that's where he'll cap off his Oregon career. There's a mosh pit that's broken out. They dumped the ice bucket on Cristobal, tried to show some quickness to get out of the
Offense,
way.
bench on the field, 15-yard penalty, 2nd down.
You can't quite carry it out of the field, and they draw a flag for this. For a split second, he was annoyed. Then he realized, wait a minute, this is a happy occasion. Now the first piece of the puzzle on championship weekend opens the door for the Big 12 champion. Unless Georgia can secure its spot, stay at number 4 or higher by knocking off LSU. Oregon going to the Rose Bowl with an emphatic and complete victory as underdogs tonight here in Santa Clara, Kirk.
Great win for Oregon. Great job by Mario and his staff getting the team ready, and great to see after where they were 2 weeks ago in Tempe to bounce back and get a win like this and win the Pac-12.
Molly McGrath has Cristobal.
Thank you so much, Chris. Coach, you are Pac-12 champions. I bet that ice bath felt pretty good.
Let's go! Hey, tremendous tribute to our football players, everyone in the program, the fans involved. I mean, the whole challenge all week was about physicality, right? Well, I think if you look at what was done up front at the line of scrimmage, it validates all the time and effort put into making us a more physical football team, and today showed up in the trenches right away. What's up, buddy? I got my boys there. Come on. Get over here, Rocco. Come on.
Coach, looking at this year's team, what are you most proud of with this group, especially the seniors who decided to return?
Well, the seniors are the guys that they were 4-8. They were 4-8, and then, look, I get the privilege and the honor of these guys. They walked down the hallway and they pounded the table for me. Thank God for everything. I mean, they're the best I've been around. They still have more football to play. They are Pac-12 champions. They earned every bit of it. Tonight they cut it loose, right? They left nothing in the tank and got it done.
And now you guys are going to the Rose Bowl. How does that sound?
I've never been to the Rose Bowl before. I cannot wait.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Chris.
Go Dogs! Go Dogs!
And the rain begins to fall. The celebration just beginning here. Herbert having the football again, the guy that grew up a couple miles from Monson, dreaming about this. They hope for a playoff bid. Pasadena has a heck of a consolation prize. And Molly has Justin Herbert now.
Thank you so much, Chris. Hey, Justin, you came back for your senior season, and now you're going to the Rose Bowl. How much does this mean to you?
A ton. This is something that, you know, we've been working so hard for, and something we talked about this week was that 4-8 season our freshman year, and just how we battled and we came together, and we're able to see the other side.
You mentioned that 4-8 season. Now you guys are Pac-12 champs. What did it take to get back to this point?
A lot of hard work. It's been years of hard work and grueling workouts, but we got the right guys, and it's been such an honor to be a part of their team.
I know you're really excited and you want to get in front of the camera as well. What are you most proud of from this year's team?
I'm just proud of the way we fought back. I mean, we had 2 tough losses this year on the road. So, I mean, the way the guys were resilient and come back every day to work in. Every Sunday we checked in and we were ready to clock in and get a win.
What should we expect out of this team in the Rose Bowl?
Man, it's a hard-fought game, man. We're going to bring everything we got. We're preparing for whoever we play against and just bring our best game.
All right, congratulations on the win, guys.
Man, go Ducks,
Chris.
baby!
We'll be in the Rose Bowl to see him, and to thank our crew in the booth. Great job all year long. Darren Brown, Mike Black, Mark Amento, of course, Dave Kataya. Crew will be with you from a semifinal game. We'll see these guys in Pasadena.
Yeah, there really is no consolation prize on a night like this. As a Pac-12 champ, you grow up in this region, you dream about getting to the Rose Bowl. With all due respect to the playoff and the 4 and who's in and who's out, these guys are happy to go to Pasadena and go play in the granddaddy of them all.
No doubt. Anything that happens at the Rose Bowl is elevated just because it's on that field. Again, over to the app for the post-game trophy ceremony live momentarily. Being produced by Bill Bonneau, directed by Derek Mobley. The CFP selection show, again, comes on ESPN. It's at noon on Sunday after Championship Saturday, which begins with the Sooners and the Baylor Bears, noon Eastern time in Dallas. Stay tuned, except on the West Coast, for your local news on most of these ABC stations.
Fans, it is an honor to welcome you to the 2019 Pac-12 Football Championship Awards presentation. Congratulations to the Oregon Ducks. Now, before we award tonight's MVP and championship trophy, we first want to say congratulations to both the Ducks and the Utes on a hard-fought game tonight and on a great season. And we also want to thank all of the fans here tonight. You guys traveled really, really well, and you made the Pac-12 proud. We also want to thank Levi Stadium, the city of Santa Clara, and 76 for sponsoring this event. Thank you so much for your support. And now it is time to award the most valuable player of the 2019 Pac-12 football championship game. From Oregon, the prize MVP is C.J. Verdell. This is presented by Commissioner Scott. Congratulations to the Ducks, and on behalf of the Pac-12 Conference, we would like to congratulate Oregon President Michael Schill. And let's find Mario Cristobal over here. Coach Cristobal.
What's up? No, you'll be back.
Before we get you the hardware, let's talk to you about your MVP, C.J. Verdell.
Okay.
What kind of fight did you see out of him tonight? What does he bring to this team?
The CJ is as hard working, as tough, as physical, relentless competitor as you will see. The guy has fought through all kinds of injuries, all kinds of adversity, and when it's time to get downhill, the guy gets us downhill and just runs through contact as he did tonight a couple times.
Coach, look at all these Ducks fans out here standing in the rain. How much does that mean to this team?
How about them Ducks? Hey, there are no fans in America. There's no support in America like what we have out there. Look at them hanging on the rain. Hey, we're going to be here all night, so get ready to have some fun.
And now the moment that you have been waiting for, Coach, it's time to present the 2019 Pac-12 Football Championship Trophy to you and your Oregon Ducks. Congratulations to the Oregon Ducks, the 2019 Pac-12 champions.